Show brought to you by Connor Roofing. You can count on Connor for all your roofing needs. Visit ConnorRoofing.com. That's CONNER Roofing.com. Vic Porcelli.
Come on, you're Italian. You understand.
Every day is a busy day all of a sudden.
You talking to me? You talking to me?
Tough and smart, and I love Italian, so, he's definitely Italian.
At least I have this show to come and talk about it and let some stuff up.
What kind of a show are you guys putting on here today?
The Vic Porcelli Show.
Is there heroin in this coffee?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my God.
It's amazing.
Black Rifle coffee I was given as a gift from Mike from Blue City. And holy cows, are good. I bet it's strong, too.
Yeah, I'm not advocating for heroin. I'm just saying that coffee is really, really good.
Yeah. All right, good morning, Freedom Fighters. Friday, Freedom Fighters. How are you, Kenny? How are you?
I'm doing good, Vic.
Kenny, I got to tell you.
You're obviously doing well with that coffee.
That's right. You can already feel the effects, can you?
Yeah.
Perfect. Big show again today, Kenny, man. What a great week of shows you put together for us. I appreciate it.
Thanks, man.
David Stokes, the heavyweight champion of municipal policy at the ShowMe Institute, coming up in a bit. Mr. Connors' neighborhood with the great legendary Larry Connors. Jay Ashcroft, Missouri Secretary of State. He's still got an election to run here.
Yes, he does.
Maybe the most important. Well, it is the most important election he's ever overlooked.
Right.
Not overlooked.
Great swan song.
Oversaw.
Great
swan song. You're right. Susie Moore, perfect timing. We'll talk to him about crazy Hunter Biden. Colonel Joe Adams is coming back. He's coming back in studio again.
Yes, in studio by himself this time.
One of these days, after Colonel Joe Adams comes in, you're going to find me in a pool of my own blood because I said the wrong thing and he's going to kill me. Wheel of audio clips at 10:41. Kenny, who leads us in the Pledge of Allegiance today?
Someone we all might know, Katie Fitzpatrick.
Oh, you have no idea how much we miss Katie. God almighty. Go ahead, Katie.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Can't you just quit her great job and come back?
No.
You just hear her voice and her whole personality comes out. About a week ago, Jessica made sausage and peppers,
Yeah.
So I put on Facebook, I said, hey, guys, please don't hate me, but Jessica made sausage and peppers tonight, just to tease the folks on Facebook.
Yeah.
And people commented, and Katie's comment was, oh, come on.
And you could hear her.
You hear it.
Yeah.
You hear her voice.
Yeah.
All right, let's get rolling here, ladies and gentlemen. In this corner, the heavyweight champion of municipal. Why does everything interrupt my introduction?
I don't know. You try.
Let's try again. In this corner, heavyweight champion of municipal policy at the ShowMe Institute, David Stokes. Good morning, champ. How are you?
Good morning, Vic. Great to be on the air with you.
Always great to have you, man. We got a lot to talk about, so let's just dig right in, okay? I'm a little confused on the electric vehicle charging build-out for $521 million. 32 charging stations. It cost the federal government $7 billion just to make 8 charging stations. How are they going to do that?
Well, this is right. I mean, the math doesn't add up. So this is part of that $8 billion program or 7 days, whatever it was, that as of 3 years into the program several months ago, which we talked about, had only built 7 or 8 charging stations around the country. This is a part of that program. They're taking that money, which was passed, if you recall, and I'm sure you do, on an emergency basis to save the economy, in 2021. We need this stimulus, and they're finally getting around to spending a bunch of it. 3.5 years later here when we don't need it. And it's so frustrating. I live in University City, and I think it'd be great if the Loop had more chargers, but I think that the businesses in the Loop, if they want to attract customers to come to their stores, they can put those chargers in. Or if the city wants chargers at City Hall or in the city-owned parking garage there, and I've got no problem with that, we should spend some city tax dollars to do that and then find a way to earn some of that money back. The idea that the federal government has to pay for all of this is, of course, the infuriating part.
Right. I just think that the timing is amazing, Now the money comes for charging stations when Ford doesn't even want to build any more EVs. There's going to be less EVs than they thought on the road. Why build? I don't know. Combustible engine cars were just great. I don't know why you have to go there. You know what I'm saying about the timing, Dave?
Oh, the timing's terrible.
Yeah.
The timing's exactly why one of many reasons why Keynesian economics doesn't work, because even in theory, the realities of practical politics make it hard. And in theory, it's not good either. One cannot spend themselves rich, but the politics, it puts it delays that you have right now. This was money that was sold to the American public on an emergency basis, sold to Congress, and much of it still hasn't been spent. So just the real fundamental lesson here is what a misleading statement it was to claim that we needed to save the economy through these stimulus funds and ARPA and everything else back in 2021. We didn't. All it did was lead to substantial inflation. And now here we are trying to justify these expenditures years later, spending it on money that the federal government doesn't need to be involved in the first place. And to a large extent, I don't think local government needs to be involved in either.
Yeah.
Again, if University City wants to build some city-owned chargers on City Hall's parking lot, great. Use University City money to do that, and then the taxpayers of U City, including me, can judge whether that was a good decision or not. When you put everything under the idea that the federal government is going to fund it all entirely or substantially, in this case, substantially, University City is getting $500,000 from this latest round of grants, and it's just ridiculous. And this is why we're $35 trillion in debt.
All right. St. Louis County can't keep themselves out of the news, of course. They promised millions of dollars for streets, homes, childcare. Nothing's happened. What's going on?
Well, it's a real similar issue in that this was money passed at the same time in 2021 as part of this was a direct ARPA funding, and St. Louis County promised a number of things to do with the money, many of which really are by no means the role of local government, such as increasing the pay of child care workers. That's not a county job to do, or to address food deserts in parts of the county. That's not St. Louis County government's role. And so now you have this 3.5 years later, many of these funds still haven't been spent at all. And now the county executive's office is saying that, they don't have the manpower to properly supervise the expenditures, which you have to do, because if you spend it wrong and don't account for it properly, you risk having to repay it. I don't think that's actually going to happen, but it's I'm not criticizing the county executive here exclusively.
That's okay.
So they want to move some of this money to the general fund, and where they, according to the rules, I guess, they can spend it more easily. But the people they promised the spending to, like for childcare wages and the like, they're objecting to that because they were promised this money. So my message is, stop believing the government when they promise that they're going to do things for you, and take care of yourself, and stop expecting the government to step in to do things that they have no business doing in the first place, such as address food deserts or increase wages for certain sectors of the population. That's not the government's job.
Two quick things about the county and what you're talking about. When we're talking about schools, right? I mean, schools have been top news for so long. And these micro schools are opening up, right? The smartest lady on the block takes all the kids in her house and she teaches them the real things that schools should teach: writing, reading, arithmetic, stuff like that. So why couldn't they do the same thing with childcare, right? Find a lady who's a stay-at-home mom, there's plenty of those, and have her watch the kids. And then she gets a stipend or whatever.
Well, we have lots of those throughout Missouri, throughout the country. And those places are great. And for some of the ones that, particularly for ones that fund poor children, there is some government funding for that, for lower income children. But it's not the government's job to come in and guarantee the funds for that. In that case, of the woman who wants to open up the daycare on her.
I mean, a stipend
house.
from the parents of the kids she's watching. That's what I was inferring.
Oh, absolutely. I've known people who've done that for a living, and it works out really well. And we just had this vote where the people of Missouri properly shot down a proposal to give child care companies tax exemption,
yep,
which did not include people who provide child care out of their homes. So that was going to give a bias, a leg up to large child care companies over that person, the man or woman who wanted to open a small one in their neighborhood out of their house.
Yeah.
Because one would have been paying taxes on the house. and one wouldn't have on the commercial property.
Right.
So there's many of those people around the state who do this, and the important thing we need to do is not regulate them out of business, because trust me, there are regulation proposals around the country that are under the guise of making children safer, I guess, or making childcare better. Usually it's a protectionist thing. They're making it harder to open these childcare agencies, including small ones. In Washington, D.C., Vic, they passed a law that childcare workers have to have a college degree, and that you cannot go to work in a daycare center unless you have a college degree. It's just an absolutely preposterous bill designed to make it harder to hire people to work and then limit competition in the industry. I think that it's being held up in a lawsuit, thankfully, so I don't think it's gone into effect yet. But we want to address childcare in Missouri, and J.D. Vance was talking about this the other day on Twitter and in some interviews. We need to make sure that we don't regulate small, affordable, home-based childcare centers out of existence.
We're talking to David Stokes, Director of Municipal Policy at the ShowMe Institute. One more thing about the county, and it's a plus. Baxter Road looks and feels great. Have you driven on it lately?
I'm trying to think if I have. I don't think so.
It's great.
I don't think I've been on Baxter, but I have heard that, yeah. I mean, look, the county arterial road system is a big part of county government. The arterial county maintains the roads in the unincorporated parts of the county, obviously, but we also have the arterial road system, which goes through municipalities all over. And I believe Baxter's on the arterial road system, and somebody can correct me on Twitter if I'm wrong. But that's a big role of county government, and it's nice to see them doing a nice job on Baxter, at least.
And you and I have spoke about on Baxter Road, right at Clayton, right by that Phillips 66 right there. Before they fixed it, it was literally a rut, a groove in the road. And I said, if you drive a manual transmission, it's really hard to get going there. And that's when you told me you drive a manual transmission.
I love my stick shift.
Me too.
It's frustrating to see them disappearing from the roads over time.
I love it.
Although it's nice, you can't steal them, so that's the nice part about them.
That's theft protection is a manual transmission. All right,
right.
A casino in Lake of the Ozarks proposal on the November ballot. What's going on, and are you for a casino at the Lake of the Ozarks?
I'm torn on it. I like to say I'm just sort of a mess of contradictions when it comes to legalized gambling like this. I certainly think that adults should be able to gamble with their own money should they choose to. I'm far too libertarian to think that adults shouldn't have the right to engage in gambling with each other if they would like to. But I've never liked the process by which the casino industry has sort of gotten into Missouri. And this is an interesting case of it. We have to amend the Constitution because about a decade ago, maybe a little longer, the existing casinos got an amendment passed to the Constitution by the voters to limit the number of casinos to the existing ones. And that was something passed by the casino industry designed to limit their own future competition. Well, now there's a strong and wealthy enough group of developers and casinos that want to add one into the Lake of the Ozarks. And frankly, the Lake of the Ozarks is probably a good spot to have a casino, all things considered. It's certainly not the worst idea.
Yeah. And
so they have to amend the Constitution to allow for a 14th. But they're just going to put the number at 14 now, meaning that another decade from now, when somebody wants a new casino in Branson, they're going to have to amend the Constitution again. So I certainly think that dealing with our state constitution every time somebody wants to put one new casino in town is ridiculous. But that's why we're voting on this. And it didn't originally make the cut for the ballot, but then there was a lawsuit, and a week or two ago, they won their lawsuit and proved that they did get enough signatures throughout the state, and now it's on the ballot. So if people want a new casino in Lake of the Ozarks, they can vote for this. If they think that we have too many casinos and don't want to see legal gambling expanded in Missouri, they can vote against it. I certainly think that adults should be able to gamble, but I'm also troubled by how rapidly gambling is expanding in our community and society, and the harm that it's doing to particularly young men who are really getting hooked on all this sports gambling and the the websites that just cater to it, and you can't turn on a TV or a sporting event without getting bombarded with gambling ads now.
Yeah.
And I find that to be concerning.
David Stokes, heavyweight champion of municipal policy at the ShowMe Institute. David Stokes. Dave, thanks. Let's talk again soon, okay?
Thanks, Vic. Thanks, Ken. Bye, guys.
See you, Dave.
ShowMeInstitute.org is how you find all the stuff that David talks about. And if there were a casino in Lake of the Ozarks, you could sit there at the slot machine and listen to us on your phone, which is also a radio.
Yeah.
Right?
You could.
Right. Just go get our app, and then it's 2 buttons. Find the app, push it, hit the play button, done. Okay?
You know what that whole conversation reminds me of? The TV show Ozark.
Oh, please.
It's what it's all about. It's so interesting.
And there's a casino plot line in Ozark.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
That's what it reminds me of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Crazy show. Crazy show.
It's Friday.
I'll be damned. It's Friday. And Mr. Connor's Neighborhood is next on 101.9 and 94.1 News Talk STL. Number one for live and local conservative talk.
We give you news, analysis, opinion, and more. Only on News Talk STL. The Vic Porcelli Show.
So I say this gently. The Biden administration sucks.
Correct! Made in St. Louis for St. Louis. It's News Talk STL.
All right. Chris Cooper at Serenity Wealth Management, one of the nicest guys that I've ever met. And when you're going in and talking to somebody about something as sensitive as your tax money, right? He's the one you want to go to, because before you start talking, he's going to say, hey, have a seat on the couch here in front of the fireplace. You want a drink? We'll have a drink. And he gets you so comfortable. And then you can start talking about tax efficient strategies for you and your money, because taxes are bad. Can we agree with that? Who do you want to leave your money to? Not the government, not the medical or care community by not planning for health care, your kids, or the charity of your choice. Those are the only two ways to go. And Chris can help you find those tax-efficient solutions to get through all that and still have money left over to leave money to your kids. You know, nothing worse than, what did your dad leave you? No, nothing. Left it all in medical care and the government. So don't let the government get ahead of you, okay? Nothing worse than having be ahead of the government every step of your life. And Chris can help you when it comes to taxes and your money. He's got a new book out. It's called The New Holistic Retirement, and it's yours for free. All you have to do is go to SerenityNowTax.com. That's SerenityNowTax.com. Serenity Now with Chris Cooper.
Investment advice offered through Fortis Capital Advisors.
Serenity Now!
Thanks for taking my call.
News, analysis, opinion.
Radio news junkie. Love every bit about it.
News Talk STL.
As the daughter of an OBGYN, I learned from a young age that no topic is too taboo for discussion at the dinner table. This family-centered, transparent approach to health and wellness that my dad, you may know him as Dr. Randy Tobler, created for my siblings and I, is what we strive to deliver to our patients at Body of Health Direct Primary Care. I'm Sammy Tobler-Gregory with Body of Health, where relationships matter. Come learn about healthcare the way it ought to be and schedule your free discovery call today at bodyofhealth.com. That's bodyofhealth.com.
On Saturday, September 21st, the Cardinals host the Guardians. And on that night, 25,000 fans, ages 16 and older, will get ready for the colder weather with a new for 2024 Cardinals jersey hoodie, thanks to Stiefel. This unique wearable features a home white jersey over a red hooded sweatshirt. Don't miss your chance to add this to your Cardinals wardrobe. And that'll be on Saturday, September 21st, the Cardinals jersey hoodie. For tickets, visit cardinals.com/promotions.
Join football royalty at Busch Stadium on Saturday, September 21st for the greatest show on turf's 25th anniversary celebration presented by Bally Sports. Secure your theme ticket now to take home an exclusive greatest show on turf cap. Upgrade your experience with one of the day's VIP events, autograph sessions with Torrey Holt, Marshall Falk, or Isaac Bruce, or a Q&A session with Mike Martz and Mike Jones. That's Saturday, September 21st. Tickets and details at cardinals.com/theme.
What happens next?
Now she wants to be known as black. So I don't know, is she Indian or is she black?
Happens right here.
Anybody who's about beating down other people is a coward.
1019 and 94.1 News Talk STL. Talk lines are open now at 314-912-1019. The Vic Porcelli Show.
Hey, how you doing?
On News Talk STL.
David Bowie, man. Miss him. 1019 and 94.1 News Talk STL. Number one for live and local conservative talk. I'm Vic Porcelli. That guy there is Ken Williams. And before the mics come on, we talk about stuff.
Yeah.
And boy, the cursing and bad language that
I
comes
know.
out of Larry Connor's mouth, I can't believe it.
I know.
And we cut him off right before the mics went on. Because it's time for Mr. Connor's mouth. That's not true, right? It's potty mouth Vic that's doing all that. God.
What St. Louis, it's Mr. Connor's neighborhood.
Did you used to do that as an anchor?
What the?
Did you ever curse on the air in your
Actually, I did on Channel 4 unintentionally. I'll break it down very fast. This is when Tampa Bay was in town against the Rams. The Rams or the Tampa Bay was a bad word. Anyway, so they're in town to play the Rams to go to the game,
the Ricky Prohl
the World
catch.
Series. Yeah,
That's
the World Series.
Yeah, the World Series, which is in baseball.
And so I'm talking about, you come into town and, they're referred to as Buccaneers, Tampa Bay, things like this. And it's just a solo shot of me. Off the screen was Hunter and Savard. And I was saying, we really want to take just a moment before we go to break to thank all the Tampa Bay. And I couldn't say fans, Bucks. They kind of came out together.
Yeah.
They kind of came out together.
Yeah.
And I could immediately tell that Savard turned and looked at me and Julius, but no one could see them. And I just kept looking ahead at the monitor of the TV and thinking, mortgage. and said, we'll be right back.
All right.
And as soon as they went to commercial, they said, you know what you said? I said, did not. We're going to look at the state when we're done. I said, I can go look at it. I'm not looking at it.
How does that work? I mean, I said, I listened back to the show the other day, and I was trying to say the word city, and another word
I
came
know,
out.
right? You
So
did.
what happens when it's a mistake like that? Are you in
It's
trouble?
a mistake. No, it's a mistake. I mean,
yeah, I mean, I thought the management would have me in the next day. They didn't.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, we had a weather guy one time talking about this is going to be he's trying this combination of huge and big, and basically it came out of really, and they wanted to fire him. And Julius and I went in and talked to the management and said, this is the last guy that'd say something like that.
Right.
It's obviously a mistake.
Right. They don't call me potty mouth for nothing. So just two quick things. That game between the Buccaneers and the Rams were to see who went to the Super Bowl, not the World Series.
Right. Yeah.
World Series is baseball.
Yeah, that was correct.
You said World Series twice.
Edit this thing, will you?
Yeah, I will.
And while you're at it, edit him.
Okay.
I'm going to tell him how we're going to deal with the Aurora, Colorado invaders.
We're going to get there in a second.
All right.
So, sometimes what's on your minds, like
your show. Go ahead.
What's your first name?
Pramila
Jayapal, U.S. representative.
Uh-huh.
She's always got something else on her mind.
Let's talk about the fact that President Trump incited an erection.
See? I mean, what's on your mind,
What's on our mind? Yeah.
Just slipped out. All right.
So real quick.
Yeah.
Share this with you.
Yeah, man.
One of my great sponsors, Wellington Environmental,
Yes.
Tom Wellington.
Oh,
I mean, he's on, been a loyal supporter for years for Larry Connor's USA. And he sent me this word today. He said, that report about the Hells Angels going to Aurora, Colorado to clean them. And I said, it all turned out to be a rumor. And I acknowledge, we knew it was fake news. He said, I do hear that the Amish have gathered a covered, don't spit your coffee out, a covered buggy and put Trump flags flying from it. And they're headed there. Problem is they won't get there until after November.
Right. Now, is that, because here's the only reason I asked this, okay? Because at 10:25 today, we're going to talk to Colonel Joe Adams, who has done stuff
Yeah.
for the government. That's as far as that'll go. We were talking about the Hells Angels thing, and he calls Jeff and says, "Isn't that funny? I talked to the president of Hells Angels just yesterday."
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to get the real deal on what's going on with him.
Yeah, I talked to him 2 weeks ago, and I said, "So this is not really going to happen." He said, "No."
Did he just blow the whole 1025?
Maybe.
Do we have to have him on every Friday?
Yes.
All right, let's get serious. Serious.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, I also saw your picture last night at the Lit Cigar Lounge.
Oh,
for the
that's
game
right.
to start.
Yeah.
It was on Twitter.
45 minutes or so late.
got
And
his
what a
cigar going.
conclusion to that game. Oh, my God.
I didn't watch it.
Well, the saving grace of the game was when you don't want to spend time on this?
No, go ahead.
Okay. When KC went to throw a pass and he jumped up and it got intercepted and bounced in the air and he grabbed it back himself.
Wow.
And if they had grabbed it, they were free run 20, 30 yards. That would have changed everything.
Chiefs win?
Yep, they did.
Now, I did see that Taylor Swift and Patrick Mahomes' wife were not sitting together. They were sitting far apart because Mahomes' wife is a Trump supporter.
Yeah.
And God forbid you be a Trump supporter.
And Mahomes is backing her up. And,
Mhm.
I think Taylor's going to end up going that way, too.
I think so, too.
Yeah.
Were you going to say something?
No, it's just disgusting.
It is disgusting. Okay.
I mean, we can deal with it. I deal with it every week with people on the left.
Yeah.
In every conversation, I just say, okay, you're wrong. And I
Yeah.
explain it.
Yeah.
But they hate me.
Mhm.
I mean, I have two sisters that I will not talk to. I haven't talked to in 6 years.
Well, you
7
can't
years.
do that. You can't do that.
I didn't, Larry.
They
It's not
walked away
about
from
me.
you? Okay.
It's not about me. They're militant left wingers, man. And I mean, I could sit there and go, well, okay, you're wrong, but they cannot handle it. If I said the word Trump, they'd probably explode.
We had a family reunion last summer. My brother and mommy don't say anything to our oldest sister. They're all younger than me. And I said, well, don't bring up, let's talk about kids and recipes, things of that nature. Just don't get into those conversations.
Yeah, we just don't.
All right. Let's talk about this shooting in Georgia. Now the father has been arrested and charged with murder.
Right.
What do you think about that?
Yeah. Is he charged with murder? I haven't seen the specific charges.
Second degree, actually.
Yeah. Okay.
Murder,
well,
manslaughter, and cruelty to children.
Yes.
Yeah. They had investigated the kid has been documented a year ago when he was 13. And the father, they talked to the father. He said, I only had one gun in the house. It's a hunting rifle. And at the time, I didn't know if he's talking about a 30-06 or if he's talking an AR style weapon. But the bottom line is, I think it was, but he didn't give his son an AR-15, the following year when he turned 14 or somewhere around there. I thought, once you've had this discussion with FBI and they're questioning things, that was stupid. That was absolutely stupid to do that.
So he was on the FBI watch list, in quotes, for a year, apparently not on the FBI watch and then do something about it list.
Well, no, they did. They went and did an interview, but there's a limit. There's a limit, and there has to be a limit.
There were red flags all over the place. This kid never went to school. He missed school so much that somebody just said, hey, what's going on here?
But reports of that. Other students say he was here, but he's always a loner. That's always a sign of concern. It's the kind of thing that school counselors and teachers need to be trained to pay closer attention. And then somebody needs to be checking their social media account and everything, see what's going on. I'm not saying you can stop all of it, but, sometimes kids just, they are loners. They don't really feel comfortable. Doesn't mean they're going to go shoot up everything.
One thing that would stop it, guys, is for $3 billion, okay, just a mere $3 billion compared to what we pay for everything else. It would take every veteran in this country to get in every school, to stand in front of every school armed, trained, and of course vetted for PTSD and all that. But they could cover every single public school in this country for a mere $3 billion a year. And I say that because of how much money we're spending in Ukraine.
And we're doing something for veterans.
Well, we have, they had a resource officer on campus. He was there within 120 seconds, they say. And they also have a special alarm system that they put in this year that teachers even carry it with them. There's a button that they can push and will signal a situation if they hit it 3 times. And if they hit it 7 times, it identifies specifically what room, what hallway they're in.
It's like Morse code almost.
Yeah, pretty much. And I mean, it's great. I mean, it hangs around their neck and they have access and there are buttons for them to push.
Now, Kenny's plan is my theory on the path of least resistance, right? If you see a sign that says gun-free zone, You know,
I never see those.
When water comes down a hill, it goes around the rock, right? And it goes around the rock that they know that there's somebody with a gun in the school, and the water goes path of least resistance, and it's the same thing.
You can't do that. A lot of Texas schools some years ago put up signs. This is not a gun-free zone.
Yeah,
you know, Texas, and I mean in recent times,
Texas got it. They do it right.
Yeah. I never see those signs.
Yeah. Oh, gun-free zone?
Yeah. Unless I have to go through a metal detector, I just don't see them.
That's another question. Are there metal detectors at school?
Well, that's what they're saying as part of this $3 billion proposal, is that they would be a veteran standing in front.
Right.
All the other doors would be controlled in some fashion, and there would be metal detectors that for them to walk through.
Now you can't.
I went in to vote in advance of the, vote early, and I got there to, I got to put everything through in a metal detector. I forgot something in the car. I turned around, walk back out. I had to. I don't have any option at that point.
Yeah.
But I also think that you can't lock the doors of the schools, because then you're Crazy Joe Clark in Passaic, New Jersey, right? But if you could lock the doors and then one button opens them all at one time,
right?
Is there a way to do that?
Yeah, there's technology today. Yeah. I wasn't talking about chains like in that movie.
Well, in this particular school, they apparently, once the kid went out, he was in class, he went out, and to come back in, he's got to knock on the door, and the teacher went to open it because you can't get in, it's locked. And she apparently saw the gun or something, and she would not let him in.
Yeah.
And that's when she began to signal the alarm.
Oh, wow.
So he could not get back into his math class he just left. And if he got in there, they're all in that one confined area.
There were so many red flags.
I'm
sorry. There were so many red flags. All right. Larry Connors, USA, 6 to 8 o'clock every night. Also great commentary at 7:30, 12:03, and 3:30 in the afternoon.
Oh, my God. You got it down. You and Ken are my favorites.
Oh, thank you.
Other than Larry Connors.
Cut that out and use that in a promo?
Yes, I can.
To play in the other shows? That'd be great. Yep. Larry, thank you.
Thank you, guys. God bless.
Mr. Connor's Neighborhood on the Vic Porcelli Show.
Yeah, baby. All right. Wheel of audio clips, 1041 today. Colonel Joe Adams. You talked to Colonel Joe Adams?
Hell's Angels.
Oh, okay. Colonel Joe Adams has done stuff. That's all the only information we can get out of him, what he did for the government. Susie Moore, 10:05. Up next, Secretary of State Jay Ashcroft on 1019 94.1 News Talk STL. Welcome home.
Watch us on our live stream using Rumble, Facebook, and Twitter. The Vic Porcelli Show.
Now, my mamaw died shortly before I left for Iraq in 2005. And when we went through her things, we found 19 loaded handguns.
The roughest, toughest, toughest hombre has ever crossed the Rio Grande.
Made in St. Louis for St. Louis. It's News Talk STL. On the next Larry Connors USA.
Understanding the Hunter Biden plea deal. What a joke from the beginning to the end.
Larry Connors USA. Now, weeknights 6 until 8 on News Talk STL.
Discover the Wine Cafe, a family-owned gem in the heart of St. Charles Historic District, offering an extensive selection of wines for every palate: red, white, sparkling, and rosé. Indulge in our wine tastings and flights, or pair your favorite vintage with our diverse menu. From our Tisdale cheeses to flatbed pizzas, we've got something for everyone. Looking for domestic beers? We got you covered too. Experience the charm of the Wine Cafe today. 703 South Main Street or online at thewinecafe.biz.
Man, what a great party you're throwing here. This wasp nest is great.
Yeah, man, we got about 70 wasps in here.
Too bad we can't fit any more wasps in here. It looks like they're having fun outside, stinging all the kids. Oh, man, who just pulled up?
Oh, no, it's the pest control company again with those green wheels. They seem to kill every one of my parties.
This is Derek, the owner of All Solutions Pest Control. Give us a call today at 636-486-7888. Learn more about our special $67 offer. You can visit us online at allsolutionspestcontrol.com.
If a pest-free home is your goal, call All Solutions Pest Control.
To our brave police officers and first responders, we say thank you for risking your lives to protect us. To all the incredible volunteers who've joined hands with the David Dorn Foundation to raise funds for equipment and services, we extend our heartfelt gratitude. We stand strong with our volunteers who give their time, talent, and dedication as a shield of support for those who rush into danger. The David Dorn Foundation gives a big thank you from our heart to yours. Visit dornfoundation.com and join as a volunteer.
Mr. Connor's Neighborhood, brought to you by Proctor Drapery Blinds and Shutters. Proctor, spelled like doctor. ProctorDrapery.com. Talk lines are open now at 314-912-1019. The Vic Porcelli Show.
The only reason the border is not secure is Donald Trump.
We have rescinded so many Trump immigration policies, it would take so much time to list them.
Made in St. Louis for St. Louis. It's News Talk STL.
It's Friday.
Whoosh.
All right, welcome to it, 1019-94.1 News Talk STL. I'm Vic Porcelli. That's Ken Williams over there. If you've ever been to the Symphony, the St. Louis Symphony, and remember used to be Leonard Slatkin for so many years, would be the conductor, and the way he would move and everything and move his arms, that's what Ken does on the board, though. He does it on the board. He looks like Leonard Slatkin.
Oh, yeah, that'd be fun, wouldn't it?
What would?
To be Leonard Slatkin.
Oh, it would. I think it'd be fun to be you. That's what people listen to. Like, that must be fun to be Ken. All right, we still got an election to take care of here in November. Secretary of State Jay Ashcroft joins us as he does every Friday. Good morning. Happy birthday.
Good morning. Happy birthday. How great it is that the NFL has started again and the Chiefs are once more headed back to the Super Bowl.
Can I just say one thing, though, with the NFL in Brazil? I mean, what a piece of bad timing with Brazil outlawing X or social media and no freedom of speech whatsoever. And then we go there and we play a game there. I wish that game was just in America is all I'm saying. I'm all for the Chiefs.
I would not want to go to Brazil. I would be scared of going there. I think if they're going to send a football team there, they ought to send the Rams there.
Better yet, just send Stan Kroenke on his own.
Yeah, really.
Just give him a one-way ticket to Brazil.
Hey, I thought my team was going to be here. Oh, nope.
Oopsie daisy.
Oops.
Let me put this on X. Oh, I'm going to jail. What? Okay, so listen, you still got an election to take care of here, you know. Is everything going smoothly so far?
I think it is. That's something where we knock on wood. It's my job to worry, so the people of the state don't have to worry. We're getting a lot of lawsuits about issues and candidates taken care of in the next couple of days so that we can finalize the ballots so people can get those sample ballots. But yes, the legal voters of this state are going to make the determination, and we'll get them those results quickly on election night.
So early voting, just run down the process for us for early voting.
We are in the process of early voting once we get within 6 weeks of the election. So we're not there yet, but we're getting close for individuals that have a reason that they can't get to the polls on election day. You can do absentee ballots. I would push people to do absentee in person. That way you don't have to worry about the post office. You don't have to worry about how long it takes your ballot to come to you or to get sent back. But 6 weeks before the election, people can vote absentee if they have one of those statutory excuses. But within 2 weeks, we then have no excuse in person. You can't vote by mail that way. You have to show up in person. You have to show your government-issued photo ID, and they will not allow the use of provisional ballots to make sure that people that need to or it really helps them can get to vote during that time, but that you have to prove who you are, and if you can't prove it, you won't be allowed to vote.
I don't know if this is a good thing or a bad thing to say, but I just like voting on election day, you know?
I like doing that. I will say there have been times when I haven't been able to. I've worked as a poll worker, so I had to vote early so that I could then work in my polling place. There were times when as Secretary of State, I was traveling the state and couldn't vote at my polling place on election day. But I really wish we'd get back to pushing more and more people to voting on election day, fewer people voting by mail, and more people that can't vote on election day, make them vote in person with that government-issued photo ID.
We're talking to Missouri Secretary of State Jay Ashcroft. You're our conduit to the RNC. That's how I look at this. Because, well, listen, now,
I don't always agree with the RNC.
Well, right. No, I'm saying you're our conduit to get information out of them, okay? Because I could say to them, look at our state. we got our act together here. Why can't this state or that state do it? What are the red flags that I can say to an RNC person to say, hey, why aren't you looking at this in Pennsylvania or Georgia or Michigan? You know, what are some of the red flags?
You know, the first thing you have to worry about is the expansion of mail-in voting. When you look at states where we've had concerns or the most concerns, it's because of drop boxes for mail-in voting. It's because substantial numbers of those mail-in votes came in on election day, or some states, or I hate this, they allow votes to come in after the election day for everybody. I think that's a terrible way to do that. But when you have people that are voting and mailing in those, then you have to have bipartisan team go through those ballots. It takes longer. That's when they're counting the ballots through the night and no one's watching. That just scares me.
Mr. Secretary, the federal government's trying to pass the SAVE Act. I mean, they try to pass this thing, and it's so simple. It just says that if you're a non-citizen, you shouldn't be voting. And the Democrats are all against this thing. My question is, if they're for this, then why are they so against this bill? What's the holdup?
Well, they are against the bill. They won't tell you. But clearly, this administration is doing everything it can to move people into our country that are not citizens. And I think it's reasonable for people to think that Democrats want non-citizens voting. They've never been able to give a good reason why they're against that. You know, I will say this. I believe that this is something that's controlled by the states. I believe that Missouri needs to put a prohibition, not just on non-citizens voting. We already have that in our statute, but we need to put a prohibition against anyone voting until they have proved that they are a U.S. citizen.
Thank you.
That's how you solve this problem. It's not going to be solved by the federal government. They can't get squat done. States need to do that. And I'm really disappointed and frustrated that for the last several years, I've asked and pushed the legislature to do that here in Missouri, and they've refused.
All right. So here's what I'm thinking. We don't know really. Ken says 20 million illegals have entered this country.
Yeah.
Plus, when we finally total the votes for president and see what they add up to, right? We're going to find out how many illegals came in because of the so many votes.
Yeah.
Well, and the federal government will make it difficult. The federal government has information on how many non-citizens are in our country. They have information on who's a citizen and who is not. And they refuse time after time after time to share that information with states that are trying to clean their voter rolls, that are trying to make sure that only citizens are voting. I'm not voting in German elections. Germans shouldn't be voting in our election.
Trump will show everybody.
It's just the state needs to act. And I understand that what the feds are trying to do, they have the best of intentions, but I don't trust the feds to get anything done. If they do get something done, they'll probably screw things up. I mean, I love that old saying, if you think the federal government's problems are bad, wait till you see its solution.
Yeah. I'm from the government, and I'm here to help.
Ooh, just don't say that.
Well, that's right. I'm trying to show off my Reagan here. I guess it wasn't very good. Whatever. All right. By the way, have you seen Reagan?
I have not, but my oldest son is home, hasn't started college yet, and my second oldest son doesn't have school on Monday. So I was just talking to my wife, she was talking to me about maybe taking our oldest kids to see Reagan on Monday. I've heard great things about it. I'm excited to see it.
Yeah, we talked to Marshall Teague, who is a actor, and he also was in the Navy, martial arts expert. He was in Roadhouse, if you remember, but he also has a role in this movie. He plays Edward Shevardnadze. Remember him? The foreign minister of the Soviet Socialist Republic. So I'm looking forward to seeing it. I really am. And he said, by the way, there's more conservatives in Hollywood than anybody wants to believe. So that's good news, right?
It is, but conservatives in Hollywood are afraid to say something about it. And I'm glad that we're seeing more and more people that are willing to stand up. That's what it takes. We cannot trust government. We have to stand up. The Constitution doesn't protect our rights. It enumerates our rights and reminds us what we, the people, have to stand up for and say, no, you shall go no farther, federal government.
All right, Mr. Secretary, we're going to put you on the spot, okay? We're going to document what you say, and then we're going to see if you were right or not right. Will the Chiefs three-peat?
Yes.
Okay, well, write it down, Ken.
I'm writing it down right now.
Secretary
As long
says
as they don't
yes.
have drop boxes.
All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Secretary. Happy birthday, and we will talk next week, sir.
God bless you. Have a great weekend.
You too. Happy birthday. Okay. I'm gonna miss him as the secretary. I mean, we'll still talk to him, obviously, right?
Yeah.
But and it's funny when he's not the secretary anymore, he can say any damn thing he wants.
Right.
Whew.
I think he kind of does now.
So imagine
I know.
with no restrictions. All right, can we check?
It's Friday.
Can we check the Friday chat box? Yes, sir. I guess we can. Rumble first today. Ed Stoit says, pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America. No for election.
No peace.
No for election.
No peace.
Good morning, all you MAGA, ultra-patriotic, deplorable, freedom-fighting, God-fearing, Vic Head weirdos. Whoosh is when Ed Stoit says. It's Friday. Happy birthday. Hi, Vic. Hi, Ken. You guys rock. Thank you so much. The weekend is loading. Like, you know, when a website is loading?
Right.
Weekend is loading. I'll be right with you. And it's going to be a great one. And Black Rifle. Oh, my God. This Black Rifle coffee.
Full-bodied?
Full-bodied, Ken. That's perfect.
Okay.
Yeah. The best part of waking up is Black Rifle in your cup. Now we'll get sued.
I need something
Right?
else.
Tried 2 of theirs. Not a fan. 2 what?
Probably Black Rifle.
Oh, okay. Well, okay. Everybody's got their own preference. Ready for the weekend. I'm going to grill something. 101 straight up. I'm going to grill something.
Right. I don't know what it's going to be yet.
Give me something. Put on.
I'll grill it.
Not that he sounds like that. Just,
no.
Did anyone notice that once again the left calls for gun control after another school shooter? They don't know. Ken, they don't know.
They have no idea. But remember back in the old days of 10 years ago when they would wait at least 5 days before they would say something about it? Trump said, our hearts go out and prayers to the families. That was immediate. Joe Biden said, we got to get rid of these guns. We got to get rid of the guns.
They have nothing else in their head except the one thing.
I don't care about these damn kids that died. We got to get rid of the guns.
But the left never called for gun control after the gangs in Colorado terrorized everybody. Huh?
Very, very good point.
Good point, Mr. Stoit. Let me educate the left. You can't gun control criminals. We said that yesterday.
Yeah.
With mandates because criminals suck.
It's true. Well, they have. Imagine that in a perfect world where they took away all of your guns. In their perfect world, it would be good guys, no guns. Bad guys have all the guns. In fact, they have more because they stole the ones from the good guys.
And now a new trend has started where if a kid does this, the parents get arrested.
Yeah, we've got to go deep diving into that because I get it. There is terrible parenting, but man, but bottom line is it's telling one person that they are responsible for another human's activity. I mean, we got to go deeper into it.
So Mahomes' wife is the better person. She would have gladly been in the suite with Swift. I agree with that.
I agree with that totally.
She would have sat next to her and just watched the game.
No problem.
Root for the boyfriend and the husband and call it a day. Because little do people know, you don't have to talk about politics everywhere you are in the world, for God's sakes.
I'm gonna tell you this. We had my wife's uncle. He's conservative, and they just came out from Tennessee, and they visited everybody. Well, the rest of the family's left. They're liberal.
Right.
We had a great time all weekend. No one said a word about politics.
Right. So these two in the suite could have been. So how's the Eras tour going? You having fun? Oh yeah, great. You know, hey, Patrick's playing great this way. Yeah, Kelsey too. That could have been the conversation.
It could have been, yeah.
If they sat next to each other, and I blame Taylor Swift for that, and not what's her first name? Mahomes' wife.
Oh, I don't know.
Let's just call her Mahomes' wife.
Mahomes' wife.
I have to skip the coffee today. Huh? Lunettes, why are you skipping the coffee?
Oh my goodness, why?
I don't know.
Caddy had to recently because of acid reflux. But she's back to it.
I'm glad she's back.
Oh yeah. It was only a day, I think.
101 straight up. Picked out Green-Eyed Lady. Bumping in with Green-Eyed Lady. Okay, over to Facebook we go. Good morning, Freedom Fighters, Vic and Ken.
Good morning.
This is somebody named Sue that I've never seen her name before. This is
Hi,
great.
Sue.
Yeah. Sue Bono Irby. Please read this post. It is awesome. It clearly states why everyone needs to vote for Donald Trump.
Okay.
So I will click on this link when we're done here. Ken, send it to you.
Okay.
And then you figure out how to put it somewhere for the guys. Okay?
I will.
Guys and gals. Good morning, Freedom Fighter Vic Heads. It's Friday. Good morning, Jensen, fellow Vic Heads. Have a wonderful weekend, everybody. Thank you, Navy Chief. Amy says Baxter Road, a.k.a. the Vic Porcelli Parkway. I don't know why he's not called that. There's a nice spot in between where it's Holloway and Baxter at the same time. You can name that after me.
And it's nice alliteration.
It is
Porcelli
nice.
Park.
And who doesn't love alliteration?
We do.
We love alliteration in this business. Good Friday morning, Freedom Fighters from Tom. Sorry, Amy, I didn't see your question. I meant to look because people like to ask the secretary questions during our segment, and I screwed it up.
Yeah, we'll get better at that, though. Let's try and focus on that. Not you, me. I'm telling myself. All right, Ken?
So when you say you mean me.
Both of us.
Well, when you say me, you mean you.
It's confusing.
It's not you, it's me. You're giving me the it's not you, it's me routine? I invented it's not you, it's me. That's George Costanza. Right? Brittany Mahomes.
Brittany, that's it.
Trump-supporting NFL wife.
Our listeners come through
every time.
Freaking time.
Always.
Don't you cuss on this here radio.
I won't.
You hear me?
Yeah.
No you cuss on this here radio. All right, let's take 5 for news, and then we're back, and we'll talk to Susie more about this crazy Hunter Biden case, where all of a sudden he's pleading guilty. That's next on 101.9 and 94.1 News Talk STL. Welcome home. Literally.
Attention hungry humans, head to Pop's Kitchen, your locally owned and operated food paradise. With 2 convenient locations, we've got something for everyone. Craving chicken, fish, or steak? We've got it. Plus, mouth-watering sides. From lunch to dinner, our fresh, diverse menu satisfies all ages and tastes. But wait, there's more. Need a quick snack, soda, or even liquor? Pop's is your one-stop shop for people on the go. Our friendly staff can't wait to serve you at both locations, on McKelvey in Maryland Heights and on the Rock Road, Breckenridge Hills. Pop's Kitchen. Come hungry, leave happy.
Need reliable auto service from people you can trust? Look no further than Western Tire and Auto. For over 15 years, we've been your complete automotive repair center, family owned and operated, with owner Dean Cleathermes bringing 30 years of industry experience. At Western Tire and Auto, you're not just a customer, you're family. We promise 100% satisfaction, treating you with the transparency, respect, and honesty you deserve. Visit us in St. Peters or in Florissant. For appointments, call or check westerntireauto.com. Western Tire and Auto, your local automotive experts since 2008.
Jewels on Hampton and St. Louis Hills is paying some of the highest prices on gold, silver, diamonds, semi-precious colored stones, coins, flatware, and fine watches on site. Jewels on Hampton is a premier jeweler featuring Alvanza's jewel art designs with an exquisite selection of diamonds, semi-precious stone jewelry, and vintage watches. Their expert design team can restyle your jewelry to today's contemporary style. They also do jewelry and watch repair. Need extra cash? Jewels on Hampton is paying some of the highest prices on gold, silver, diamonds, semi-precious colored stones, coins, flatware, and fine watches. Bring in your collectibles and clocks and sports memorabilia and figurines too. Jewels on Hampton, 4506 Hampton, just 3 blocks south of Chippewa, and jewelsonhampton.com. Call them at 314-752-5000, 314-752-5000, and jewelsonhampton.com. Jewels on Hampton.
Join the crowd at the iconic Turkish Pavilion and meet State Treasurer Vivek Malik. The Republican Party City of St. Louis is excited to invite you to our Get Out the Vote picnic, Sunday, September 8th at noon. Have free barbecue, beer, and be part of a fun group photo with the folks working hard for the future of Missouri and the city of St. Louis. Let's show up. Chow down and get out the vote, St. Louis. Head to STLCityGOP.com for details.
Paid for by St. Louis City Republican PAC. Curtis Farber, Treasurer.
KLGY HD3 Clayton, K270BW Bellefonte, KNBS Bowling Green.
This is News Talk STL at 101.9, 94.1, and always streaming at
NewstalkSTL.com.
I'm Rich Thomason. Colt Gray, the 14-year-old suspect in this week's deadly Georgia school shooting, and his father, who's also charged in the case, will both remain in custody. At back-to-back court hearings this morning, their attorneys declined to seek bail. The accused teen gunman is charged with 4 counts of murder. The presiding judge details the charges against the father, 54-year-old Colin Gray.
Currently charged with 2 counts of felony murder in the second degree. You're charged with 4 counts of felony involuntary manslaughter. You're charged with 8 counts of felony cruelty to children in the second degree.
4 people killed in the shooting at a high school in Winder, Georgia. America's employers expanded their payrolls by 142,000 jobs last month.
Although 142,000 looks like decent job growth, we got to remember that the last 2 months were revised down, and this has become a disturbingly consistent pattern.
Heritage Foundation economist E.J. Antoni, the government's August jobs report expected to figure prominently in the Fed's upcoming decision on interest rates. If you want to supercharge the economy, tax cuts are the way to go, so says former President Trump, outlining a multifaceted plan for boosting the economy should he win the White House.
The 5th pillar of my plan is to make the Trump tax cuts permanent. They are massive tax cuts, biggest ever, permanent, and to cut taxes even more.
Mr. Trump addressing the Economic Club of New York. Hunter Biden due for sentencing in December after entering a surprise guilty plea on federal tax evasion charges, accused of trying to avoid paying roughly $1.5 million in taxes. On Wall Street, the Dow down 123. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Folks, Donald Trump Jr. here. Let me ask you this. Does inflation feel worse than we're being told in the news? That's because the official inflation rate doesn't tell the whole story. Since January of 2021, the cost of living has increased by 17.9%. You can't get that money back. But what you can do is stop your losses today. How? By diversifying your savings into a gold IRA from my friends at the Birch Gold Group. When you're done, your money will be parked in a tangible asset with proven history. To see how it works, get your free info kit on gold IRAs by texting the word prepare to 989898. Birch Gold is the only gold company I trust. They provide an easy process to roll over your 401k or IRA into gold without losing your tax advantage status. So text prepare to 989898. That's prepare to the number 989898 to get your free info kit on gold IRAs from Birch Gold.
Following a large-scale...
This hour of News Talk STL is brought to you by Stifel, serving investors for over 130 years. Contact your Stifel financial advisor at stifel.com. That's STIFEL.com. From the Michaels Flooring Outlet Weather Center.
I'm First Alert meteorologist Kristen Cornett with your forecast. There's a 20% chance of a stray shower or rumble of thunder this morning. Otherwise, largely dry. Will be mostly sunny this afternoon. Not as hot nor as humid with a high of 82. Mostly clear tonight, considerably cooler. We dropped to 56, and the weekend looks fantastic. Sunny skies, low humidity, below average temperatures with a high of 74 on Saturday and 77 on Sunday. That's your First Alert forecast. I'm meteorologist Kristen Cornett.
This hour, the Vic Porcelli Show, brought to you by Proctor Drapery Blinds and Shutters. Proctor, spelled like doctor. ProctorDrapery.com. Vic Porcelli.
Come on, you're Italian. You understand. Every day is a busy day all of a sudden.
You talking to me? You talking to me? Tough and smart, and I love Italian, so he's definitely Italian.
At least I have this show to come and talk about it and let some stuff up.
What kind of a show are you guys putting on here today?
The Vic Porcelli Show.
Abu Bakar, our Big Daddy is dead. He died like a dog.
He died like a dog.
I'm not getting it, Ken.
No, I know, but man,
it's one of those hard. I don't know. Some people, I can't do Christopher Walken. Everybody can do Christopher.
See if this inspires you.
Crooked Joe, you're fired. Get out of here. You're fired. You're incompetent. You're
that help you?
incompetent.
Yeah.
Get out of here. You're destroying our nation.
But a funny thing is, the Democrats fired him, not Trump.
Right.
Fired Joe. All right.
Trump was the catalyst.
One quick thing, and then we'll get to Susie more. I was in Dearborg's yesterday, and this guy was in the dairy section. He looked at me and he said, "Whoosh, my brother."
No way.
Yes, he did.
That is awesome.
Yes, he did.
So
I
cool.
said, "Whoosh." Yeah, it was awesome.
I love it.
All right, let's go. Susie.
Oh, Susie Q, baby, I love you. Susie Q.
I'm the boss. How about that?
And I should have listened to Susie more from the beginning. That whistle rattles my brain, I got to tell you.
Yeah.
Good morning, Susie. More
and whoosh.
And whoosh to you, my sister.
Good morning, Vic Porcelli. And whoosh right back.
All right. So have you ever seen anything weirder than this Hunter Biden defense where they were going to plead not guilty 10 minutes before they go in the building, they plead guilty? Is that weird, or is that normal court procedure?
No, it's pretty weird. You know, I explained on, I was talking to Mike Ferguson earlier, and I was explaining to them that, you know, a lot of times cases get resolved on the courthouse steps or in the courtroom because that's when kind of the rubber meets the road and, you know, people really face reality. So that brings people to the table, whether it's a civil case or a criminal case. But it is unusual in a criminal case, particularly one of this nature or this high profile, to get this far and then just suddenly go, oh, you know what, we're going to plead guilty. I mean, it was just very strange. And they didn't extract anything, like they didn't work out a deal to plead guilty. It wasn't a plea deal. They just pleaded guilty.
That makes it weirder, doesn't it?
Weird how?
Weird, right?
Weird.
Can I chime in on this for a second?
If you must.
I must, because we did it on your coffee to go a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
I'm just so sick of it, Susie. We all know exactly what's going to happen here. He's pleading guilty, and it doesn't matter because he's going to get pardoned.
You know, I agree to an extent. And I agree with you. He's probably going to get pardoned.
And that's why he did it. No deal, nothing.
But, right. The one thing that it does make a difference in is, you know, I mean, he's pleaded guilty to this now. He's acknowledged and pleaded guilty to all of the things that were charged against him. And I mean, that's never going to go away, whether he sees the inside of a jail cell or not. Because I don't know about you or me. I mean, I don't really care if Hunter's sitting in a jail cell or not. I care that he got busted, and it's got to be openly acknowledged. He did wrong, and there's no walking that back.
But doesn't pardoning him expunge everything to where his record has not even existed?
It expunges it from a legal standpoint, but not in the public's memory and not in the history books. I mean,
yeah,
he pleaded guilty.
So you said something a minute ago there, Susie, about the courthouse steps. Was that just a euphemism, or does that really happen?
No, that really happens.
Tell me about that. Tell me how that happens.
Not all courthouses have steps, but most of them do. Many of them do. For instance, the one there in the city of St. Louis does. And a lot of times you're gearing up for trial and you're getting to the courthouse and everyone's adrenaline is flowing, and your client, for instance, in civil cases, which is where my experience lies, your client maybe suddenly starts thinking, you know, this is a little risky. I don't know if I want to leave it in a jury's hands. And you may end up having a conversation with the other attorney on the courthouse steps and say, hey, you know what? I think maybe we can reach an agreement. I have had cases settle on the courthouse steps. I've had them settle in the judge's chambers. I've had them settle in the courtroom while the jury was waiting patiently for us. They do. Sometimes it takes up to that point, which is kind of ridiculous because you put all that time and effort into preparing it. But that's sometimes what it ends up taking, is to make people really, agree to settle something.
So that leads me to my next question. How far along was this process? Was the jury selected already? Did that process start?
No, they were supposed to start jury selection yesterday morning.
Oh, okay.
When they got there is when Biden's legal team said, oh, you know what? I think we're going to try and do an Alford plea.
Man alive. All right. Now, what's going on with Gary Shapley, who we saw him testify as an IRS whistleblower months and months ago, and his name is back in the news. Why is that?
Well, because as you might expect, he is and his legal team are feeling a little bit of vindication with that guilty plea. Because keep in mind, it was Shapley's disclosures. It was him coming forward that set all this in motion, that kind of tipped the judge off in Delaware that this plea agreement that they were trying to get, to sweep under the rug last July may not be on the up and up. It was their testimony, his and Joseph Ziegler, before the House Oversight Committee, that really kind of blew all of this up. And the fact that there was this attempt by the Biden Justice Department to sweep Hunter's transgressions under the rug. So, yeah, this is major vindication for the whistleblowers here, because, and keep in mind, they got pulled off the case. They got smeared. They didn't get directly sued. Hunter sued the IRS, but named them in the suit as, trying to smear him. They got raked over the coals by the congressional Democrats. They got called out by Merrick Garland. I mean, they were basically pilloried over their disclosures, and their disclosures were right. And this vindicates that.
It's so funny how more and more times things unfold and vindicate people and nobody remembers that, right? In the public eye. It's just crap.
Well, that's why I wrote about it.
I know.
And I think that's a general tactic, especially for the Pfizer media. I think they know that no matter what they say, they can take it back a couple months from now and it'll be okay.
Yeah. No, unfortunately, that's the way it often unfolds.
All right, let's get your thoughts on the father of the kid at Appalachia High School being arrested, charged with, I believe it's murder, manslaughter, and cruelty to children. What do you think about all that?
I think it's interesting. There's still a lot that we don't know about what happened, but it does sound as though this father, who would have been unquestionably aware that his son was troubled in some way because they looked into an issue with him over a year ago where he supposedly posted online threats to shoot up a school. If you've got a child, a family member, somebody who's making threats like that, you don't turn around and give them a gun or allow them access to a gun. And, we saw this with the Crumley case in Michigan. The parents were held responsible. And I think I can understand people who push back on that and have questions about whether or not that's appropriate. But I also think that, you're talking about a 13, 14-year-old kid who's obviously got some issues. And if you're the parent, you have to be the one to make sure that person isn't accessing a firearm or isn't planning to go shoot up a school.
Yeah. One thing that's different in this case than almost all the other school shootings is that kid's still alive.
True. Although Nicholas Cruz is still alive. And I think, isn't Ethan Crumbley still alive too?
I don't know. But a lot of them.
You're right. More often than not, people that go on these mass shooting sprees either then do themselves in or they allow themselves to be killed by the police in the process. But no, yes, this kid is still alive. And apparently he surrendered kind of right away when he was confronted by the school resource officer.
Susie and Vic, I just think it's a shame that they have to regulate good character. The parent should have known to do something to help that child. I know parents that have had troubled children. They did help them and they're fine today. Okay.
Right.
It's a shame that we have to resort to that. And that's my biggest problem is, you want to say, well, you can't penalize somebody for somebody else's actions. But at the same time, there's something here where this parent has a responsibility.
Right. There is a certain amount of what we call in the law, respondeat superior.
Now you're go ahead. I'm sorry.
You're as the adult, as the parent, you have responsibility for your child, not only their care, but also for some of their actions. And the other thing too, I think we kind of gloss over this because it seems so obvious, but if you know someone who is making threats about shooting someplace up, a school, a church, or whatever, that's a big red flag. That should really, really, really get some focus. And I know people sometimes don't know how to deal with the situation and they're not, so maybe they kind of sit in denial on it. But listen, if you know somebody, a kid, an adult, whoever, who's saying, yeah, I'm going to go shoot this place up, you need to do something.
You know who knew about it? The FBI knew about it.
That is correct.
I've been saying this week, and I'm not trying to be funny, but he was on an FBI watch list, not an FBI watch and do something about it list.
Right.
Yeah, and that gets tricky too. I don't want to in any way let the FBI or law enforcement off the hook if there was more they could legally have done and they didn't do it, because we've certainly seen them falling down a lot. But then when you're talking about law enforcement, obviously there are limitations as far as what they can do. If someone makes a comment, that in and of itself may not be enough right there to incarcerate them or to take, to put them into the system. There's certain elements that have to be met in order to actually take legal action against them. And so we don't know everything about this circumstance yet. It could be that the FBI could have done more and didn't. But right now, they're not in the same position as the parents or around this kid.
I get that, but I guess I'm questioning myself when I read the phrase FBI watch list. He was on an FBI watch list for a year. He makes this post on X or wherever he did it. I'm going to shoot up the school and talk about red flag. My God, they should have took the kid and put him somewhere.
And I think they need to, Susie, they need to take that FBI watch list, because that thing comes out every single
Right,
time something
right,
happens,
right.
and look at it and go, okay, we need to reevaluate every one of these and double check things on this again, because this comes out every time.
Right. What good is a watch list if you're not actually watching?
Right.
Right. No, I agree with you. I mean, I'm not saying that they're blameless here. I'm just saying right now we don't know all of the circumstances, and we don't know it could very well be that when they looked into this back in May of 2023, they just didn't feel like there was enough to proceed legally against someone. And we do have to kind of be mindful that obviously we all have constitutional rights, and we don't want the government trampling those either. So it's a delicate balance.
And on top of all that, you guys, we don't trust the FBI as it is now anyway, so that's a double problem.
It's a huge problem. Yeah, no, they've done none of us any favors on that regard.
So this is a very serious story, and I'm not trying to make light. Don't smile. I'm saying I'm not trying to make light.
Here.
Serious face. Thank you.
Okay.
I'm not trying to make light of this, but the Babylon Bee had an headline that says FBI assures public the next 10 mass shooters are also on their radar.
I did.
Wow.
And that's great satire. That is absolutely.
It is. It's very biting satire.
Very biting. I like that.
All right, Susie. So other court news cases that you have written about, one being about Donald Trump and Jack Smith. So this case, is this the Mar-a-Lago case? That's
no.
Which case is this? The Jack Smith case?
This is the DC case. This is the 2020 election case.
Okay, so and that's not going to happen until after the election.
Correct.
What does that all mean? Is it ever just going to go away? I mean, is the sitting president going to have to go on trial?
No, it's not just going to go away, at least not easily. So that case was on hold for a long time because they took up the issue of presidential immunity. And that's what the case that was decided by the Supreme Court on July 1st that kind of outlined what the scope of presidential immunity is. And then it got sent back down to the lower court and said, okay, here's the guidelines. Now you need to determine, what he's accused of falls under official conduct or doesn't. There's evidentiary determinations that the court needs to make. So yesterday they had a status conference to kind of lay out the timeline for doing that. The issue and the timeline is clear. The case is not going to be tried before November 5th. There's no way. The judge has acknowledged that. But what she did do is allow the parties or instruct the parties to file their briefing with the court in the next several weeks, months. So what's going to end up happening is the DOJ is going to file its brief, which lays out everything bad it says Donald Trump did around the 2020 election and January 6th in great detail to make their case that he's a bad guy and this stuff is outside his official conduct and shouldn't be immune from prosecution. So that's going to put it all right there in the news in front of everybody right ahead of the election, even while the case itself isn't being tried. It's essentially a paper trial because it's all going to be reported on.
Yep. We're talking to Susie Moore, Deputy Managing Editor at redstate.com. Did you see that there's been something added to the endangered list? Have you seen this story? It's perjury.
Oh.
It's not a thing anymore.
No.
I swear to God.
Yeah.
It's just not a thing anymore.
Oh, it's a thing if certain people
But the Democrats are the ones that lie all the time. That's the point.
And they're the ones who never get it.
Never.
Well, I agree with you there. And I mean, if you're talking about just lying in general or lying under oath, obviously just lying in general, there is no basis for perjury. But lying under oath, there is. It just doesn't seem to be prosecuted as to Democrats, whereas it is as to Republicans.
And Vic, you're so right. They do that. They are masters at this. They know exactly what they need to bring into the hearing. They know exactly what they need to say. They've been coached. I mean, they've got this down to a science on the left to lie.
But they still perjure themselves.
And they get away with it.
I mean, we could, if we wanted to, we could sit down, Susie, and make a list. Fauci, Mayorkas, we can go down the line and make a list of people who have committed perjury, and there's absolutely no penalty.
And we can make another list that on the right saying they said perjured and went to jail.
No, you're absolutely right. There's a double standard employed there. The party in power, I mean, there's prosecutorial discretion, and what ends up happening is that discretion gets exercised in favor of one side and not the other, and it's maddening.
All right. Finally, my last story, and I know this is a huge story, probably going to see this on every nationwide nightly news in the country. Your upstairs neighbors vacuuming in the middle of the night. What the hell is going on with them?
It's the strangest thing. About 3 or 4 months ago, it was like 11 o'clock at night, 10:30 at night, and all of a sudden I realized the person upstairs was vacuuming, and I was like, well, that's kind of weird. I mean, I make sure if I'm going to vacuum, it's like during daytime hours. I was still awake at that point, but I was like, and it went on for a long time. So I remarked on it at the time, and someone was like, oh, maybe they're moving out, blah, blah, blah. Makes sense. I mean, I can understand if you're trying to do that last minute cleaning of the apartment, but it just seemed like it went on forever. And then last night and the night before, they're up there vacuuming at like 10 o'clock at night.
Unbelievable.
I don't get it.
Now, if you live in a house, I mean, my wife, she'll just get up off the couch at midnight and start feeding the fish. You know what I mean? Or she'll start changing the water. And if you live in a house, that's fine. But if you're in an apartment, I mean, you gotta respect your neighbors.
Exactly. I mean, I go out of my way to make sure my dog is not barking on, inopportune hours and try to be conscientious of that. So it is a little strange.
I'm glad you said that though about the barking, because I make sure my dogs don't bark. I mean, I go out there with them in the yard, and if they bark, I am all over them.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Susie Moore, Deputy Managing Editor at redstate.com. Smoozy Q on X. Thank you so much. We'll talk next week.
Thanks, guys. Have a great week.
All right. We're going to get to the bottom of this Hell's Angel thing and this Venezuelan gang thing.
Trinidad.
That's all next with the Colonel Joe Adams from the Washington Guard. We're going to hang out with him tomorrow night, as a matter of fact.
Yes, we are.
On 1019 and 94.1 News Talk STL, #1 for live and local conservative talk.
Watch us on our live stream using Rumble, Facebook, and Twitter. You're listening to the Vic Porcelli Show.
Are you ready to choose freedom over democracy? Because that's America. As President Lincoln said.
Made in St. Louis for St. Louis. It's News Talk STL.
All right. I promised you guys this for a while, and I want to do it. And, of course, now I can't find it because I completely suck. Connor Roofing. Their Google reviews are just amazing. I had it all up and ready the other day, and we weren't scheduled to talk about them, and here we are scheduled to talk about them right now, and I can't find them, but trust me, they're all great. Exceptional professional. Here we go. Exceptional professionalism and expertise. Attention to detail and commitment to quality were evident throughout the project. Their work was great. Great experience, did exactly what they said. They installed perfect-looking roof, cleaned up afterwards, even was nice. How about that? The people were nice, and they speak English. How about that? Connor Roofing's been doing it for 30 years, and they will give you the honest estimate. If you're not sure about the roof, well, give them a call, and they'll give you an honest estimate on what's going on up there. And then if you do need something done, they'll do quality work. And then the best part about it, how do you think these Google reviews come? Kathy Connor gets on the phone and says, "Hey, it's Kathy. How'd we do? Give me an honest assessment on how we did on your roof." And you'll find out that she will make sure that you are satisfied. That's how you get good Google reviews, okay? Connor Roofing, get them at connorroofing.com, CONNER roofing.com.
I'm Dr. TJ, owner of the Institute of Natural Health, co-owner of Optimal Nutraceuticals, and the host of Wellness 101. Wellness 101 is designed to cut through the nonsense and provide you common sense, science-based information regarding health and wellness. On the show, we discuss topics like thyroid health, gut health, hormone optimization, and many others. Our show airs Saturdays at 10 a.m. and 2 p.m. and Sundays at 11 a.m. and 3 p.m. right here on News Talk STL. For more information, visit us at inhstl.com. That's inhstl.com.
How are your windows doing this summer? Are they keeping the hot air out, keeping the cool air in? If you have any doubts at all, once you get a hold of Window World, simply the best for less. Give them a call today, 314-993-1800. Tim Jones here to tell you how awesome Window World is, one of only 2 window companies in the entire country that carry the coveted Good Housekeeping seal of approval. They've got a lifetime warranty, covers all parts, glass breakage, and labor, a double strength of glass, incredibly thermally efficient, for the first time ever, offering 0% financing plans up to 36 months. 314-993-1800. 314-993-1800. WindowWorld.com. WindowWorld.com.
Parents want more choices rather than fewer when it comes to their children's education. And now some Missouri parents will have one more option to get their children the best education available. Low-income students and those with disabilities in Missouri's largest communities can now apply for an Empowerment Scholarship Account, or ESA. With an ESA, the money the state would normally pay to your child's public school goes into an account that you control. You can use the funds for private school tuition, online learning programs, a private tutor, or other approved uses. You can tailor your child's education. For too long, Missouri officials have operated on the mistaken notion that parents only need one choice. They're assigned public school based on their address. ESAs put parents in charge. It's school choice at its best, with money following the students to the place that best fits their needs. Learn more at showmeinstitute.org. This Show Me Minute has been brought to you by Show Me Institute and Show Me Opportunity.
The news and talk.
I've made the heart-wrenching decision to suspend my campaign and to support President Trump.
That matters to St. Louis.
Kamala Harris hasn't held a press conference since 2023.
This is 101.9 and 94.1 News Talk STL.
Whoosh.
Talk lines are open now at 314-912-1019. The Vic Porcelli Show.
Be cool, honey bunny. Be cool.
Made in St. Louis for St. Louis. It's News Talk STL.
How many times do we say music takes you back to an instant in your life?
Oh,
right?
yeah.
Shooting Star by Earth, Wind, and Shining Star? Shining Star by Earth, Wind, and Fire. Brings me back to high school football practice and Albert Patty singing this song in the locker room. Is that crazy?
That's crazy. Yeah.
All right. Let's get down to business here. Colonel Joe Adams is with us. He's got his big thing going on tomorrow that Kenny and I are going to be at. The Price of Freedom. Marshall Teague is going to be the featured speaker. We spoke to Marshall yesterday, and the Colonel has come back to pay us another visit today. We're really excited about this tomorrow.
Hey, Colonel.
Oh, I am too. Thanks for having me. It's going to be a big event. Got a few tickets left, and that's about all. So we're ready to go.
Only a few?
Only a few.
Well, we better grab those tickets if you want to see the Colonel. Can people come up and say hi to you at the thing?
Well, I wish they would, yeah.
Yeah. Come on and say hi. Tell them about how good those guys are on the radio from 9 to 11 every day.
Yeah. And I'm going to speak before Marshall, so of course they call me Dr. Doom. There's nothing good out there happening, actually.
It's okay. You got to tell it like it is. It's the Price of Freedom. It's happening tomorrow from 5 to 9:15 at Trinity Hall, 333 Vineyard on Sunny Road in Washington. It's going to be a great night of patriotism, don't you think, Colonel?
Absolutely. That's what it's all about.
Don't you think this country needs more patriotism, Colonel?
It can never have enough. The idea of the Washington Guard is simply to help the first responders do a more efficient job when times are tough, because they're our first line of defense. They're like our border patrol. They're going to engage problems before the rest of the community does, and so we're there to support them. All the money we raise is for training and equipment and logistical support for the first responders.
Is the Washington Guard always on call 24/7?
Oh yeah, 24/7.
Huh.
Yep. One call from the sheriff and we're gone.
It's so much more efficient than the government can.
But actually what's happened, I didn't realize what happened. We have people from all walks of life out there who actually have a map with all the dots of all the members. So it would appear that the Washington Guard has started a movement to bring the community together for the common good of the community.
Yes, of course.
That's awesome. Yeah.
Every town should have one of these.
Well, I get that a lot. And they've actually asked me to take my show on the road and to show how we did it.
Have presentations.
And I say we did it, not just me.
Of course.
I was just a figurehead, and and I'm still in command out there. But other communities need to do the same thing.
But the story behind your creating it and working in conjunction with law enforcement, I think, is amazing.
What I have a history in Franklin County with local law enforcement, sheriff's department. And so when I went out there and talked to the sheriff and told him what I had planned, he already knew me, and his predecessor, Gary Tilke, the sheriff. We're so fortunate. What we're doing in Franklin County couldn't happen everywhere because you need the support of law enforcement, especially the sheriff's department.
Yeah.
And we have that.
All right. So let's get to the bottom of something here. And don't get ahead of me. Let's take this one step at a time. There clearly are Venezuelan gangs taking over people's apartments in Aurora, Colorado. Is that a true statement?
That's true.
Okay. Just want to make sure, because there are people like the governor of the state that says it's not happening. It's all figment of our imagination.
Right.
So last week, I'm on Twitter, X, and I see Hell's Angels is trending. And I'm like, bet I'll click on Hell's Angels. So I clicked on that and I say, hey, Hell's Angels on their way to Aurora. They're going to take care of this, kick some ass. And I'm like, is anybody that's going to kick some ass? It's going to be the Hell's Angels. And then everybody said, no, it's not true. So I said that on the air. And then Jeff, our boss, comes in and says, I'll be darned. Colonel Joe Adams just called and said the president of Hell's Angels just called him yesterday. So what's the story? That's all I'm going to say. You tell us the story. What's going on?
Well, when I heard that rumor about the Hell's Angels, and I know a lot about the Hell's Angels.
I bet.
And well, my military background, you have in the intelligence industry, you make friends in strange places. And I happen to know the former president of the Hell's Angels, George Christie. And so I just called him. And he said, well, let's just say there's nothing planned right now. But that's not a bad idea. Also, I saw where the Mongols are going also. Now, here's the trick. The Hell's Angels have been through a lot in their life as far as
good and bad
problem with law enforcement. Right. But what a public relations positive thing, the fact that they're even mentioned. Now, they didn't leak that. Where that came from, I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
But the jury's still out. And because of the public relations effect, don't count them out. Because there just happens to be an outlaw biker rally coming in Aurora.
How about that?
Huh? What a mask. What a screen, huh?
What a screen.
And then this is not the first time they've done this.
In Aurora?
No.
Oh, okay. So Aurora's just this year's city.
On a world stage.
Got it.
I understand these people all over the world, the chapters. I was in Amsterdam, walked into a bar, and there's Amsterdam chapter of the Hell's Angels there.
I'll be damned.
They're everywhere. So back during the Nixon administration, Sonny Barger, who's the best known Hell's Angel president, was to his dying day denied being president.
Wow.
When they say no, they mean yes. When they say yes, they mean no. So to his dying day, he died in 2022 at 83. So Sonny writes Richard Nixon a letter saying, we're going to volunteer the Hell's Angels to go to Vietnam and stop the war. Now, being a combat vet, I know that's ludicrous, okay?
Right.
But he calls a press conference. And worldwide, the Hell's Angels volunteered to go to Vietnam and stop the war. Good or bad, it's ingenious.
It is ingenious.
So this is not the first, and they're thinking about that right now. Wait a minute, it worked before. I mean, let's face it, they could use a facelift, okay?
Right.
But anyway, George straightened me out. And George Christie, the former president of the Hell's Angels, that acknowledged he was. Of course, he went to prison for conspiracy to blow up 2 tattoo shops that were in competition with the Hell's Angels. But that's, let that go. George has had some problems. So he told me that the jury's still out. And actually, it's a pretty good idea. Now, is that a hint? I don't know. But George, to make a living today, you know what he does?
What does he do?
He speaks before law enforcement on tour. He's got 3 tours now, 3 law enforcement conventions that he's the key speaker. And he spoke at Annapolis for a graduation.
Naval Academy.
That's a former Hell's Angel president that is now teaching law enforcement and speaking before them, and actually spoke at a graduation in Annapolis.
I love this.
How about that?
Now, Colonel, okay, this thing in Aurora, the police department, the law enforcement is not doing much about it, and it creates this vacuum. Well, what's happening now in Chicago and now in Texas, the same thing is happening with Tren de Aragua, that makes MS-13 look like little kids.
Wow.
So I'm saying that we need more of your guard, and we need more Hell's Angels to represent and help them, or something. Something has to give.
Well, they don't want to come to Franklin County. It wouldn't work out real well for them. No, not really. So, but Sonny, go back to the Hell's Angels again. Sonny Barger, the number one guy who always was viewed as the president of Hell's Angels. He did a lot of time also. Always denied being president.
Mm-hmm.
They just, to his dying day. But now, Sonny died in 2022. Right. He's the best known Hell's Angel of the Oakland chapter. And they had 7,000 motorcycles show up for his funeral. Guess who the key speaker was at his funeral?
Don't know.
Tucker Carlson.
I saw that actually.
Yeah.
I saw him on stage on Twitter. Oh my God.
Tucker Carlson. That was in
about that?
2022.
That's awesome.
Tucker's amazing, isn't he?
I like Tucker much more now than before. I liked him before, but I love him now.
He doesn't care now.
Why would the Hells Angels have him there speaking?
Truth.
You know why? Patriotism.
And truth.
Now, here raises the question. Can a person be an outlaw and still be a patriot?
Oh, yeah.
Wild Bill Hickok.
Our founding fathers.
A little guy named Jesse James. I mean,
Jesse James.
Can they? That proves it.
I think Wild Bill Hickok's the best example. He was a lawman and he was also a bad guy at the same time.
Right.
And he shouldn't have faced, you know, Wild Bill Hickok is, he was an outlaw and lawman, and he was shot and killed playing poker. And did you ever hear the phrase "dead man's hand"?
Yeah.
That he had aces and eights in his hand.
Oh, wow. Okay.
When he was shot. So if you're playing poker and somebody's
I've got an aces and eights story sometime. I'll tell you.
We'll tell it right now.
No.
Why?
We better talk about it first.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay. I got aces. I got dead man's hand. He means he's got aces and eights, and I think it was even all black. Ace of clubs, ace of spades, eight of clubs, eight of spades.
Wow.
So anyway, so how would the Hells Angels be welcomed in Aurora? Because there's a chapter of Hells Angels in Colorado, isn't there?
Everywhere, but Colorado is a blue state. You know, when
how does Hells Angels deal with blue states?
Not very well, probably.
Yeah.
But just to make an appearance brings awareness to the problem.
Yeah.
They don't have to engage.
That's true.
Just make the trip. I hope they do.
I hope they do too, and I hope those Venezuelan gangs go.
But look at the foundation of patriotism in the Hells Angels. I mean, I'm not promoting an outlaw gang.
No, I get it.
But understanding the personality, you know, Sonny Barger, the former best-known president, enlisted in 1955 into the Army.
Wow.
And 14 months later, he got an honorable discharge because they found out he was 15.
Oh my God.
And they asked him in some bio, "What did you get out of joining the Army?" He goes, "I got to learn how to assemble and disassemble weapons and the camaraderie."
Yeah.
If that don't sum up the Hells Angels, nothing does.
Boy, you're sure right. All right.
Oh, but hey, also, where did the name Hells Angels come from?
Yeah, where did it come
It's a
from?
World War II Bombardier Squadron.
Is that right?
That was very successful. In fact, more successful initially in the war than the Enola Gay in my buddy Colonel Paul Tibbets.
How about that?
Right.
My God.
They worked in all through Europe, France, Germany, Netherlands, and completed 25 missions.
Colonel, you're such a great conversationalist. You really are, and we love this. But we're out of time. I'm sorry about that. Don't be mad at me. I got to follow the clock.
You're paying mileage, right?
Oh, God. Price of Freedom is tomorrow night. The Colonel will be there if you want. You know what? I think just meeting Colonel Joe Adams is worth the price of admission.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to speak.
Absolutely.
I'm going to speak.
And he's going to speak.
And he's going to speak.
And so is Marshall Teague, who we talked to yesterday. You know, we did a funny video. We do a video every morning before we start the show. It's called Coffee to Go. And just who's going to be on the show and stuff. And I hope Marshall didn't see that because I said, yeah, we're going to talk to Marshall Teague today. And he's on the phone. Good thing, because if he came in, I'd kick his ass. Whoa, wah, wah.
Okay.
So I hope he didn't see
I'll
that.
pay to see that.
Oh, no.
I would too.
It'll be a short show.
I'm going to shake his hand and run tomorrow night.
Yes.
And then after Vic did 10 seconds of that karate, he leaned over like couldn't breathe. So
you can tell the shape I'm in, right?
You were outside smoking when I ran into you this morning. Yeah.
All right. Tomorrow night, September 7th, 5 to 9 o'clock, Trinity Hall, 333 Vineyard, 3665 Sunny Road in Washington, Missouri. Marshall Teague and Colonel Joe Adams will speak. Thank you so much for coming.
Patriots only. Patriots only.
Yes.
And we gotta find a conclusion to this Hells Angels story. So thanks for filling us in. Whew,
thanks, Colonel.
All right.
So cool. So cool.
You got a haircut, dude.
I know.
See his haircut.
Yeah.
The wheel of audio clips is next on 1019 94.1 News Talk STL #1 for live and local conservative talk.
Watch us on our live stream using Rumble, Facebook, and Twitter. The Vic Porcelli Show.
Everything Joe Biden touches turns to shit. Everything.
How dare you?
Made in St. Louis for St. Louis. It's News Talk STL. The Allman Report.
Hey, Friday
Today, we delve into a little bit of astronomy and astrology. You know, the planets are aligned right now the same way they were right before the American and French Revolution.
Jamie Allman, weeknights at 8 on News Talk STL.
Attention thrill seekers and fun lovers. Did you know the Midwest's largest wooden roller rink is right here in Missouri? Welcome to Piccadilly Palace, your ultimate family entertainment destination. Glide across our massive skating floor, conquer arcade challenges, put your way through mini golf, and dive into cutting-edge virtual reality experiences. And coming soon, a relaxing bar and grill patio, state-of-the-art golf simulators, and heart-pounding two-story go-kart racing next to East Central College in Union, Missouri. Plan your visit now at PiccadillyPalace.com. That's PiccadillyPalace.com.
Hey, Tony Colombo here for Gutter Pros. When Christine and I bought our new house, we knew the gutters were an issue, and after meeting the Gutter Pros team, we knew that they were right for us. Gutter Pros is your all-in-one gutter service team that offers a variety of affordable solutions, and they even offer free estimates, so there's no cost to you to find out if they are right for your home, just like they were for ours. If you're having a problem with your gutters, contact the Gutter Pros now, because with Gutter Pros, water goes where they tell it to. Call them at 314-656-7195 or visit gutterpros.com.
Calling all Patriots. Join us for an unforgettable evening celebrating America's greatness at the Patriots Banquet. Honor our veterans, support our first responders, and meet Hollywood tough guy Marshall Teague, the infamous Jimmy Reno from Roadhouse. September 7th at 333 Vineyard in Washington, Missouri. Tickets include dinner and open bar. Upgrade to VIP for exclusive cocktails with Marshall. All proceeds support the Washington Guard's emergency response efforts. Reserve your spot now at thewashingtonguard.com.
Hey there, Chris Cooper here. Join me every Sunday morning at 9 a.m. on News Talk STL for a little fun with finance. We'll talk about taxes, the economy, finance, and most importantly, how to enjoy the lifestyle you deserve.
Serenity Wealth Now with Chris Cooper. Sunday mornings at 9 on News Talk STL.
Tune in on Sunday and visit serenitynowtax.com for your free copy of my book, The New Holistic Retirement. That's serenitynowtax.com.
Serenity Now!
Fox News commentary.
A U.S. Navy warship commander was relieved of his duties after a viral image showed him using a rifle with a scope mounted backward. I'm Tommy Lahren. More next.
In theaters now, Reagan returns to office.
We are the greatest country in the world. We have just forgotten.
You can run from a bully for so long, but after a while, you're going to have to stand up to him. I am about to start the biggest war of this century.
You told me you wanted to make a difference in this world.
What would you have me do?
I want you to fight.
Mr. Gorbachev, tear down this wall.
Reagan in theaters now. Rated PG-13. May not be suitable for children under 13.
Commander Cameron Yates, a U.S. Navy warship commander, has been relieved of his duties after a photo of him firing a rifle with a scope mounted backward went viral. Even worse, the image was posted on the Navy's Instagram account. Did no one notice this? In a statement, the U.S. Navy said Commander Yates was let go due to a loss of confidence in his ability to command the guided missile destroyer. Yeah, you think? What the heck is going on with the U.S. military? You know, by and large, our U.S. warriors are skilled, elite, and knowledgeable, but dang, this is a rough one. The world is staring down the barrel of another world war, and it's not comforting to see a high-ranking military leader use his equipment improperly. Now is certainly not the time. Perhaps the U.S. military should focus less on DEI initiatives and woke training and more on the logistics of, I don't know, war fighting. I'm Tommy Lahren, and you can watch my show, Tommy Lahren is Fearless, at Outkick.com.
The Wheel of Audio Clips, brought to you by Senior Memorial. Give Benjamin Schaefer a call at 314-866-8886 or visit memorialplans.com. Senior Memorial Heritage Protection. Talk lines are open now at 314-912-1019. The Vic Porcelli Show.
We demand a lower work week, 32-hour work week.
We've always given them shorter hours. We start by cutting their lunch hour to 20 minutes.
Made in St. Louis for St. Louis. It's News Talk STL.
Stop it. You're a U.S. Senator. All right, listen, Family Arena's got another great concert coming to town. It is the Legends of Country Rock Pure Prairie League, Atlanta Rhythm Section, Richie Furay and Firefall. Tickets are on sale now at the box office and also at familyarena.com. And guess what? You can win tickets at newstalkstl.com. So go on there and try to win yourself some tickets. Is this going to be the end of the song?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, no, it's not.
No.
This song ends really, really cool.
Yeah.
Okay. Mike on the phone first. Mike, good morning. How are you? Oh, I'm sorry.
Steve.
Steve, good morning. How are you? All right. That's like showing ID.
Right.
To vote, all you got to do is, oh, it's Steve. There you go. All right, Steve, what's on your mind?
So I was listening earlier this morning or whatever. Jay Ashcroft got himself in a little bit of a pickle with a Cole County judge. My recommendation to Jay Ashcroft is use the page from the Democrat book. Just say, I don't like this order. I'm not going to abide by this order. And print out the ballots the way you want to print it out. And if he doesn't like it, what's he going to do in the end?
All right. That's a good point, Steve. Good stuff, Steve. Thank you so much. Have a great weekend, my friend. All right.
You as well. Thanks.
Now, Mike. Go ahead, Mike.
Yes. How's my favorite talk show host?
I don't know, Ken. How are you?
Hey, Vic. How you doing?
Good.
Wait a minute.
Oh.
You're both good.
Okay, just saying. Usually it's him, not me.
No, it's not.
Ken advised that I did not rub this in your face today. Sharon and I won $13,000 at the casino.
Ooh, nice. You should donate to a GoFundMe account for a young artist in town who's trying to finish her tuition for her school.
Yeah, that's a good idea, Vic.
Well, as long as they know any Cab Calloway songs, I'm down with that.
She does. That's the cool thing about it. She knows songs from the 30s all the way up to today. I'll send you the link.
You'll send me. Thank you very much. But anyway, I just wanted to tell you that your talk show host, Mr. Larry, has a tell at the poker table.
No, he doesn't. He's too good for that.
I've played across from him several times. And he has a tell, and I will share it with you. And I hope he doesn't do anything to you. But when he gets a good hand, he usually looks at the cards twice, not once, but twice. Then he rubs the bottom of his chin and then looks at you.
Wow.
Now you have an advantage.
You know, he's listening. So now he's going to change that up.
Right.
Yeah, I'm sure he will.
And let me tell you, how many times when you were across from him did you look at his cards and say, "Oh, you know, I've won with these cards before"? That's his big line. Oh yeah, I've won with these cards before. All right, Mike.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I'm gonna seriously. I'm gonna send you a link to the GoFundMe page. Okay.
I appreciate it. Thank you. And you guys, good day. All right.
Hey, thanks, Mike. And this is for you.
Good morning, St. Louis. All right.
Let's go. My God.
Wheel of Audio Clips.
It's America's favorite game show, The Wheel of Audio Clips. Here's the host of Wheel of Audio Clips, Vic Porcelli.
Thank you, Jim Marco, very much. Studio audience, how you doing? All right.
Wow, you ladies are out in force. We appreciate it very much, very much. Thanks for coming up. It's the Wheel of Audio Clips, and you know, you may hear the same kind of thing on different station. Like, oh, here's the audio clips of the week. Can you tell who I'm doing here? Here's the audio clips of the week.
Oh, you're gonna get so excited.
We take all the audio clips that we played all week, and Ken puts them on this big old wheel. He spins the wheel, and wherever it stops is the clip that we play. I think that's fair.
I think it's totally fair.
All right, are you ready to roll?
I am ready.
All right, Kenny, give that wheel a spin. All right, let's go. All right, it's been an interesting week of audio for sure on both sides of life.
Oh yeah,
you know. Because there's been some stuff that we say, yeah, and then the stuff that, oh, no way. Okay, now here's exactly what I'm talking about. CBS in Boston called out Kamala Harris. Hold on. So when Trump does a rally, it's an organic, people come from all over.
Nuts.
Wildwood, New Jersey, 100,000 people, right? And when Kamala...
And he pays not a dime to anyone to be there.
You're not supposed to do that. So Kamala buses them in. CBS confirms it.
Well, behind me, hundreds of invited Harris supporters are leaving and boarding shuttle buses. This was a departure for Kamala Harris, leaving toss-up states to come to New Hampshire.
Are you kidding me?
It's crazy.
You can't even do a...
This is a manufactured, artificial production of a candidacy. Every aspect of it.
Remember Joe used to do he did his speeches, and they blamed it on COVID. They would draw circles for the people to stand in.
9 people.
And there were 6 people apart. Right. I mean, you could only fit a dozen people in there or less. All right, let's spin the wheel. Both sides of this ticket on the left. Boy, you can keep. I'll tell you that much. All right, let's see where we're at. Come on around. And, oh, my God, the other half of the ticket. So stolen valor is not a joke.
No.
If I were to go out, we just had Colonel Joe Adams in here.
Yes.
Do you dare steal valor when you know a guy like Colonel Joe Adams?
He better not be anywhere around if you try it.
That's right. Tim Waltz does it all the time.
When I talk to my constituents in southern Minnesota, when I tell them, when I was in Afghanistan, you know what our troops were worried about? They were worried about their families' health care, and they were worried about their pensions.
You were in so were we. Where? I was in Sang Bang, Dangon, all over that place, basically, a lot of places. What unit were you in? I was with the Green Beret, Special Unit Battalion, Commando Airborne Tactics, Specialist Tactics Unit Battalion. Yeah, it was real hush-hush. I was Agent Orange, that was my name, Agent Orange, Special Agent Orange, that was me.
You and me, baby, you can make it.
Now, there's been some
Where'd you go? A guy with no legs, never go back. That's what he says.
There's been controversy about him saying, I was in Afghanistan. Yes, they said he was in Afghanistan as a congressman, so shut up. No, here's the deal. Stolen valor is when you take it and you manipulate the way you say it.
Yeah.
He said, I was in Afghanistan and our troops, he made it sound like he was in Afghanistan fighting.
That's all he's done is make it sound like something that it's
But
not.
the left is saying, oh, no, he was there in Congress as a congressman. I don't care. It's the way you deliver it to get that stolen valor.
I can't do this anymore.
You can.
I can't
you
do
can,
it.
Beck. You can.
Okay, spin the wheel. Then. All right. Let's do something fun. Let's do something entertaining, for God's sake. Come on. Oh, well, this sucks, but yet still entertaining at the same time. Kamala Harris.
I learned, I think I was, 22.
No, it's okay. Just play it and we'll play the other one.
You better thank a union member for sick leave. You better thank a union member for paid leave. You better thank a union member for vacation time.
Oh, that woman got a mouth like an outboard motor all the time.
That was the right one.
I love that one.
Spin the wheel. Oh, my God. I just absolutely love what we do here, Kenny. I love it. I love your idea of real stuff connected to fictional stuff.
Yeah.
Right, and that's perfectly it right there. Oh, here is a very vicious, evil way to be a prosecutor.
And this woman should never be close to the White House.
I agree.
I learned, I think I was, 22.
Okay, stop.
When I started that work.
The first indication that she's lying. I was, what was I, 22? I remember what age I was at every job I've ever had.
Right. No, I totally agree with that.
Okay, go ahead.
Work. I learned that with the swipe of my pen, I could charge someone with the lowest level offense. And because of the swipe of my pen, that person could be arrested. They could sit in jail for at least 48 hours. They could lose time from work and their family maybe lose their job. They'd have to come out of their own pocket to help hire a lawyer. They'd lose standing in their community.
She's bragging.
All because of the swipe of my pen. Weeks later, I could dismiss the charges, but their life would forever be changed.
Which means she lied.
So I learned at a very young age the power.
She sounds like every evil villain in a Disney movie.
Yeah.
Just by the swipe of my pen.
Just understand. Understand.
I can ruin your life with just a swipe of the pen.
What leader have you ever heard say that unless they were an evil leader?
Well, she's not a leader, clearly.
Well, that's what I'm saying, though.
Yeah.
If she becomes the leader and
She can't.
says that, there's no way, Vic.
I forbid it. I forbid her from
crazy.
becoming a leader.
It's crazy.
All right. Can we do one more? Do we have time for
Yeah,
one more?
we
All right. Do one more. Let's spin the wheel. My God, let's get to somebody that we like, somebody we want to hear from. Come on. Donald John Grover, Cleveland Trump.
I think our country's missing a lot of religion. I think it really was a much better place with religion. It was almost a guide, to a certain extent it was a guide. You want to be good to people. Without religion, there are no guardrails.
Guardrails.
I'd love to see us get back to religion, more religion in this country.
Well, Mr. President, thank you for putting yourself out there, and thank you for talking today.
Look, I love the country. I want to see the country be great, and we have a real chance of doing it, but it's our last chance, and I appreciate it very much.
He loves the country.
Yes.
He could have been continuing to be a billionaire.
Being admired by all the celebrities.
But he gave that up because he loves the country. What is the problem with that? Nothing.
There's nothing. They hate him for it.
Mr. President, we need you. We need you back. Donald John Grover, Cleveland Trump. Hold on, because he's coming.
Remember, they're coming after me because I'm standing up for you.
Thank you, Donald Trump. So, I was almost going to ask you to play another one.
Yeah, go ahead.
But we don't have time because we got to be out of here. So, I just want to say that when Donald Trump says if Kamala wins, the things that will happen are true and will happen.
Yes, they will.
100 million immigrants, stock market crash, taxed to death, right?
These are all based on the policies of the previous 4 years.
And why would she change? Why would she do anything that she,
If you're on the fence still, which there aren't many, but if you're on the fence still, think about it. The last 4 years or 4 years before that, what was better? Think about it.
Yeah. And you know what else I want you to think about? Thanks so much for having the record player on at night to listen to us this morning.
Make sure you have the record player on at night.
Kenny and I will see you 9 o'clock Monday morning. Dan Bongino is next on 101.9 and 94.1 News Talk STL, #1 for live and local conservative talk.
Sooner or later I'll be clocking in again. Someday I'll be able to forget my working days. Life will be grim because the ship is coming in. Everything will go my way and I won't have to say it on the weekend. Here come the weekend. Here come the weekend. My working week's so tough, I think I've had enough until the weekend. Here come the weekend. Here come the weekend. Here come the weekend.
From home improvement to replacement, do-it-yourself electrical projects can be shocking. That's where Grasser Electric can help. They've been lighting up St. Louis for years. From ceiling fans and dimmer switches to repair or replacing your electric. No job is too big or too small for your home or business. Grasser Electric will even install emergency backup generators. So call Grasser Electric today before the sparks start to fly. 636-441-5200 or go to grasserelectric.com.
Craving a taste of Italy? Look no further than Vitale's Deli.
Family owned and locally operated, we're bringing a little bit of the hill to the heart of Glendale. Our friendly staff treats you like family, serving up a delicious variety of sandwiches inspired by authentic Italian flavors. With reasonable prices and something for everyone, Vitale's is your own backyard taste of Italy.
Come see us.
Call 314-966-9912 or visit vitalesdeli.com.
Vitale's Deli, where great food meets a family tradition.
My name is Rashalan. All my life, I look forward to being a wife, then a mom, but that's not how things played out. When I got to Thrive, I immediately began to feel empowered as I received medical care, information, and parenting classes for an entire year and all the baby supplies I would need. I then felt confident I was going to be able to be a good mother to my baby. Thrive's epic annual dinner experience, Breakthrough, is coming up October 5th at the St. Charles Convention Center. Go to thrivealivestl.org to RSVP your tickets. That's thrivealivestl.org.
Hi, I'm Jen Wallner.
And I'm Rodney Wallner with the Wallner Home Selling Team at Berkshire Hathaway.
Hey, Rodney, how do you sell your home for top dollar?
That's easy. Call the Wallner Home Selling Team at 314-810-SOLD.
What if I want a flexible commission rate?
Call the Wallner Home Selling Team at 314-810-SOLD.
When's the best time to sell your home?
Right now. Call the Wallner Home Selling Team at 314-810-SOLD.
For all your real estate needs, call the Wallner Home Selling Team at 314-810-SOLD.
That's 314-810-SOLD.
KLGY HD3 Clay, K270BW Bellefonte, KNBS Bowling Green. This is News Talk STL at 1019, 94.1, and always streaming at NewstalkSTL.com.
Breaking news this hour from townhall.com. I'm John Scott. Hiring in America picked up a bit in August, and the unemployment rate dipped for the first time since March. And a sign the job market may be cooling but remains sturdy. Employers added 142,000 jobs, up from 89,000 in July. Today's figures depict a job market slowing under the pressure of high interest rates, but still growing. Heritage Foundation public finance economist E.J. Antoni tells the Salem Radio Network the Fed should not be so reliant on the jobs figure when considering rate hikes.
This data has proven to be so unreliable, it's actually disturbing that the Fed is using it and is looking at it so closely to try to determine when to cut rates.
The unemployment rate ticked down to 4.2 from 4.3% in July. Also at townhall.com, in Winder, Georgia, public defender Donna Seagraves tells Barrow County Superior Court Judge Curry Mingledorf II that Colin Gray, the father arrested in connection with the deadly shooting at Appalachia High School, will remain in custody.
Let me inquire as to whether there's a motion for bond if Mr. Gray is moving for bond at this time.
No, sir, not at this time. We will allow alternate counsel to make that decision.
All right, thank you.
Before his father's hearing, shooter 14-year-old Colt Gray had his hearing. The teen advised of his rights, along with the charges and penalties that he's facing. Because he's a juvenile, the maximum penalty he would face is life without parole. On Wall Street, stocks have been falling after the jobs report. It was billed as the most important of the year. It came in mixed. The Dow dropping 375 points. Now the NASDAQ 436 points in the red. More at townhall.com.
Hey, folks, Donald Trump Jr. here. Let me ask you this. Does inflation feel worse than we're being told in the news? That's because the official inflation rate doesn't tell the whole story. Since January of 2021, the cost of living has increased by 17.9%. You can't get that money back. But what you can do is stop your losses today. How? By diversifying your savings into a gold IRA from my friends at the Birch Gold Group. When you're done, your money will be parked in a tangible asset with proven history. To see how it works, get your free info kit on gold IRAs by texting the word prepare to 989898. Birch Gold is the only gold company I trust. They provide an easy process to roll over your 401k or IRA into gold without losing your tax advantage status. So text prepare to 989898. That's prepare to the number 989898 to get your free info kit on gold IRAs from Birch Gold.
From the Michaels Flooring Outlet Weather Center.
I'm First Alert meteorologist Kristen Cornett with your forecast. There's a 20% chance of a stray shower or rumble of thunder this morning. Otherwise, largely dry. Will be mostly sunny this afternoon. Not as hot nor as humid with a high of 82. Mostly clear tonight, considerably cooler. We dropped to 56, and the weekend looks fantastic. Sunny skies, low humidity, below average temperatures with a high of 74 on Saturday and 77 on Sunday. That's your First Alert forecast. I'm meteorologist Kristen Cornett.
This hour of News Talk STL brought to you by Piccadilly Palace, located in Union, Missouri. The ultimate family fun center is Piccadilly Palace. Call 314-860-6418 or visit piccadillypalace.com.
Seavers JCB has amazing deals on JCB mini excavators ranging from 2 tons to 10 tons. The choice is yours to take 5 on one of these great offers. Take 0% financing for 5 years or take up to a $5,500 cash rebate and 5-year warranty. See terms and conditions for details. These offers are for a limited time, so head to your nearest Seavers JCB and check out their full line of JCB construction equipment or visit SeaversJCB.com.
News Talk STL is proud to have Doug Voss of Safe Money Radio as part of our lineup each week. Doug has been a staple on St. Louis radio for many years as one of the leading financial experts in the area. Doug and Safe Money Radio is on 3 times every weekend, but in case you miss anything, you can check it all out at DougVossSafeMoneyRadio.com or call 844-676-SAFE. That's 844-676-7233. Doug Voss is a registered representative. Securities offered through DHL Securities, LLLP. Member FINRA and SIPC.
Join the crowd at the iconic Turkish Pavilion and meet State Treasurer Vivek Malik. The Republican Party City of St. Louis is excited to invite you to our Get Out the Vote picnic, Sunday, September 8th at noon. Have free barbecue, beer, and be part of a fun group photo with the folks working hard for the future of Missouri and the city of St. Louis. Let's show up. Chow down and get out the vote, St. Louis. Head to stlcitygop.com for details.
Paid for by St. Louis City Republican PAC, Curtis Farber, Treasurer.
Attention St. Louis small business owners. Dive into the power of video with Blue Ocean Media Group. We create affordable, eye-catching content that makes waves on social media and strengthens your brand. Don't let big budgets hold you back. Our professional team delivers pro quality at small business prices. Boost your online presence, engage customers, and watch your business grow. Visit BlueOMG.com today to start your video journey. That's BlueOMG.com.
St. Louis's new choice for conservative talk.
It's time that everybody wake up and pay attention.
Live and local.
Recent criminal indictment of Donald Trump. About the fourth one. The fourth one. The one he got the free gift with. Lunch card. I think it's a tote bag.
This is News Talk STL. News, analysis, opinion. News Talk STL.
From the NYPD to the Secret Service to behind the microphone, taking the fight to the radical left and the putrid swamp. You're listening to the Dan Bongino Show. Here he is, Dan Bongino.
Think that guy regrets that, Jim? Pretty sure.
A little bit.
Yeah,
A little bit.
A little bit. You know, that's interesting in that clip too. I was Billy. Billy offended him a little bit. Tommy comes back crazy after that. Listen, I just got done with probably self-praise stinks, but what the hell? Probably top 10, one of my best podcasts ever. Maybe top 5. Yeah, I was on fire this morning. And I promise you it's going to segue right into a radio show. It's going to be top 5 too. Because again,
Again.
Thanks, Norm. I have said to you, my loyal audience, who I love to the rafters, that the real threat to conservatism does not come from liberals. We know what they're about. We understand that threat. We've been dealing with them forever. We know how to deal with them. The real threat comes from the inside, because there is a not insignificant and not small swath of the pretend GOP and fake conservative movement that has absolutely zero interest in winning elections if their preferred candidate doesn't do it, because that's the source of their money and their future revenue stream. It's interesting because these are the people who throw around the term grifter while they're in turn grifting themselves. It's my dipsy-do flipperoo theory. They've never actually had jobs. You know, like, Jim, you're rocking a Bongino Army today. Look at that. Very nice. See, Jim's had a real job. Jim's worked in this profession for a really long time. Sports, entertainment, politics. Mike as well. It's not an easy job. It's a live radio show in front of 8.5 million people. You screw up, it's a little embarrassing. And amazingly, in 3 years, we've had only a couple goofy glue incidents, and almost none of them were his fault. Almost. I blame him for one to this day. I'm just making it up. I don't know if he did it at all. I just want to express the gravity of his position. But these people have never had real jobs. The danger to the movement is from within. I warned you yesterday that Russia Hoax 3.0 was not targeted to liberals. It was targeted to two groups of people. It was targeted to the media to give them a talking point, and it was targeted at fence-sitting Republicans and undecided voters. It was not targeted liberals. Now, I get it. You may be responding back, Dan, of course it was. They want liberals to believe Trump colluded with Russia. No, they do not. The liberals already believe that. It's like going into a Kool-Aid drinking cult and going, hey, Kool-Aid tastes great. They don't care. They're not drinking the Kool-Aid for that reason. Liberals already believe ridiculously, because they're imbeciles, that Trump and Putin give each other back rubs and are colluding to steal an election, and that Hunter Biden's laptop, signed for and turned over by Hunter Biden, with Hunter Biden pictures, Biden family stickers on the laptop, with Biden's phone number on the receipt, it was somehow a Russian op. They already believe that. They did not need Russia hoax 3.0. This was not targeted at them. The FBI and the corrupt DOJ did that press conference the other day about Russia hoax 3.0. Russia buying off conservative influencers to target stupid Republicans. This is why in my hierarchy of needs in my life, it's God, it's family, it's friends, it's conservatives, it's libertarians, it's MAGA people, and then a distant 7,000 underneath, like, my need to preserve palmetto bugs in my bathroom in the middle of the night, which happened last night, are swampy Republicans. They're the worst. I don't want friends. I don't care. I've got enough good friends. Got my orthodontist buddy, and he's got a boat too. What a great guy. I don't even have to buy one. I got Jim. I got Mike. These guys are loyal. These cats, I got Mikey, and Mike. I didn't even know that. Mike, Avita calls him Mikey. That's cool. I got Avita. I got Justin. I got Guy. I'm good. I got my crew. I don't want to go to your cocktail parties. I don't care about any of you idiots. A matter of fact, I hate all of you. Don't call me. Don't email me. Don't text me. I think you're all morons. I hate swamp people. I can't stand you. That's why I'm public enemy number one. I'm not only hated by liberals. I'm hated by the FBI, the DOJ, the management of the Secret Service, the swampies. We get hate mail. I played one for you last week. Antifa, BLM, they all hate us. And I don't care. Jim, how many hits with an S in front of it do I give about people who hate us? That would be 0. I don't care. I had this interesting thing that happened in my life. It was really, I had this big lump on my neck. And someone's like, hey, man, you got cancer. I was like, that really sucks. And you know what? Things change. I don't want anybody's sympathy. There are people who died of it. I saw a bunch of 13-year-old kids at MD Anderson leukemia with no hair on their heads, just days away from losing their life. It changes everything. After that, I promised God myself I was going to live going forward, giving absolutely 0. It rhymes with Stokes, going forward. I don't care. Yes. I don't care. I don't care about you. I have a deep vitriolic hatred for you in my heart, for everything you're doing to destroy this country. And the fact that you morons on this, I'm not mad at the liberals for falling for Russia hoax 3.0. This is what they do. They make up hoaxes and use the government to imprison their enemies. They're fascists and authoritarians and little commies. I'm not mad at them. That's what they do. I'm mad it happens, but it's what they do. I cannot believe yesterday how many Republicans, the Jonah Goldbergs of the world, this clown, this Justin Hart guy on Twitter, I just shredded. We just ruined this guy. This guy's done. We ruined this guy this morning on the podcast. Don't tussle with me, boys. Don't. It never works out well. And they always got to pretend later on, oh, here we got. No, I know what you're doing right now. You're quietly like, gosh, I wish I wouldn't have poked the bear. I know it's too late. Bear's been poked. Sorry, it's over for you. You're done. You're done. I've said you're done. When I say you're done, you're done. There's no recovery. You're not allowed to be not done when I say you're done. Because our audience is too big and too loyal, and they know I don't BS them, unlike you. So here's what happened. I warned everyone yesterday, dear GOP grifter class, this Russia hoax is designed to get you to go out and start tweeting and putting on social media. Oh my gosh, the MAGA crowd, all Russian sellouts. And unbelievably, despite my warning, the morons did it. Parroting the DOJ FBI narrative. Do you know how stupid you have to be to fall for this again? Even if every single allegation in the swampy, corrupt DOJ/FBI indictment about these influencers, even if every single one is true, let me tell you what they're guilty of. You need a better business lawyer. And if you're going to tell me this is a pro-Trump Russia operation, I'm going to ask you, really? Can you provide any evidence to that? Because the person who's the alleged ringleader was posting anti-Trump stuff. One of the targets of this operation, Dave Rubin, who's a friend, by the way, is a devout, avid, open Ron DeSantis supporter. Kind of a weird pro-Trump operation. We're supporting the other guy in the primary. Go Trump. See, if you're a liberal and a GOP sellout, this makes perfect sense to you because you're stupid. The other guy, Benny Johnson, was a Vivek guy, basically. He doesn't not like Donald Trump, but he does videos for Vivek. And the third guy, Tim Pool, I know all three of them well, is not even a conservative. He's a former liberal who did some reporting who's now more of a libertarian than anything. See, this requires, Jim, what would you say about maybe 30 minutes of research max to figure all this out? Probably less. Jim's saying 5 minutes if you just know where to look. But you get this guy, Justin Hart, this morning, who, again, the only reason I bring this guy up is he's a verified account who no one can seem to figure out what these GOP swampy grifters even do, besides opening the door this morning, shutting off their porn, and letting mommy bring in their breakfast cereal. Well, kids, tricks are for kids. Here's your tricks. No one knows what these idiots do, except sitting on X all day, crapping all over people, trying to save the country from the communists trying to put Donald Trump in jail, and you're next. Nobody knows what these people do. Have they ever had actual jobs? Here's this guy this morning, Justin Hart, again, pretending to be on our side. A lot of people are posting this clip from Dan Bongino, warning MAGA not to fall prey to the type of operations that Tim Pool, Benny Johnson, and Dave Rubin got pulled into. The clip is me saying something I'm going to say again before I get to part two of this, which I will repeat. Do not be, folks, be very, very careful if you are a MAGA person or a conservative who you are talking to. The government has been fully weaponized. Ask George Papadopoulos, Carter Page, Mike Flynn. You are insane to talk to anyone without a business lawyer or a criminal lawyer if the FBI comes knocking on your door. Period. Go look at the Twitter feed of Harmeet Dillon, an actual attorney, very skilled in the weaponization of government, who is telling you the exact same thing. Say nothing to these people because you are likely a target of an op. Of course, Justin's too stupid. He says, I read this clip another way. Well, it's interesting how you read it another way, despite the fact that the way I said it is the way I said it, and it's me telling you. But Justin knows better because he put the porn down, and he's eating his mommy delivered him his breakfast cereal while he's collecting his checks or something. Who is this canoe? He says, gig is up. Oh, it's up, Jim. He says it's up. The gig, as if, and no one knows what this guy's gig is. He says this is just the tip of the iceberg. The meteoric rise of the grifter class on the right's about to be exposed. This guy is supposed to be a Republican who is not so clever by half, hinting that you guys who choose to listen to this show and others, you've been duped by Russian Dan Bongino. Russian Dan Bongino. Now, because Justin's a moron, and again, probably is sitting there in his mama's basement somewhere. I don't even know what this loser does. Justin could do another 5 minutes of homework, and he could find out that the alleged grifter class, implying, I guess, it's me. See, I actually ran for office and put my name on a ballot 3 times, as a matter of fact. Oh, but you lost. I did. Almost went bankrupt doing it. I left my job. I didn't retire from the Secret Service. I resigned. But did you lose your pension and your health care? Yeah. Wow, that must have been hard. Yeah, it was. How many doors you knock on, Dan? About 7,000 in the Florida and Maryland heat in the summer. What'd you do, Justin? You got the Lubriderm in your basement somewhere? What were you doing? Put the computer down, buddy. What were you doing while I was doing that? When I was guest hosting on Christmas morning on WCBM, trying to get out the conservative message, telling my daughter they had to wait a few hours till Daddy got home. What were you doing? What were you doing when I was doing a weekend show on WMAL in the middle of a snowstorm that probably 5 people were listening to at the time? What were you doing? What were you doing when I was out campaigning for Ron DeSantis and others? There are pictures on my Instagram. What were you doing? Got the Lubriderm out? What were you doing? What were you doing when I was investing millions of my own dollars I worked hard for my entire life into parallel economy companies? That 3 multi-trillion-dollar companies run by left-wing lunatics. One of them took down and wiped this all out. And then I got back off the horse and did it again with Rumble. A company, by the way, now banned in Russia because Russia hates people like me who support free speech. What were you doing? I'll tell you what you're doing now. You're parroting deep state narratives without an ounce of scrutiny over what actually happened because you were the mark and you fell right in the trap. Because the GOP grifter class is too freaking stupid to take their diapers off and see the forest for the trees. We'll be right back.
Bongino. Do these 3 words make you cringe? Calcium oxalate stones. If so, then this message will be a huge relief because now there's a kidney health supplement that has shown in laboratory tests to reduce the rate of calcium oxalate crystal growth by 99%. That's right, 99%. It's called Kidney Cop, Calcium Oxalate Protector, and nothing else comes close to its success. In fact, it has a 100% satisfaction guarantee. Kidney Cop is so innovative, it's been awarded 5 U.S. patents, is recommended by doctors and pharmacists, and is winning rave reviews from people all over the country. You can be one of them. Kidney Cop is super affordable. You can purchase affordable Kidney Cop today by visiting Amazon.com, Walmart.com, or KidneyCop.com. If you cringe when you hear the words calcium oxalate and you worry about reoccurrence, then you need Kidney Cop right away. Purchase Kidney Cop today at Amazon.com, Walmart.com, or KidneyCop.com.
These statements have not been reviewed by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
Sponsored by Calcium Oxalate Labs, Inc.
Dan Bongino.
The latest news.
You know what? If you want Donald Trump to win, then say that. Otherwise, I'm speaking.
That's not what middle America is.
I'd be ashamed if I was him and I lied about my military service like he did.
It's about policy. It's not about her. The media misses Trump. I'm speaking to you on phones, on radio, on television. Excuse me, what are we doing right now? Let me tell you, we have the enthusiasm.
101.9 and 94.1.
St. Louis's #1 for conservative talk.
NewstalkSTL.
Steph's Pizza is on the move to Lake St. Louis. That's right, you can now get the legendary Steph's Pizza and Pasta in Lake St. Louis, 111 Pond Fort Trail. Steph's Pizza, where Mondays you get a large pizza for the price of a small, and it just got more convenient for pickup or delivery in Lake St. Louis. Steph's Pizza in the Chesterfield Valley on Long Road, in St. Peter's on Jungerman, and now in Lake St. Louis at 111 Pond Fort Trail. Check them out at Steph'sPizza.com. Tonight's a good night for Steph's Pizza.
If you're considering an annuity as part of your retirement plan, we need to talk. Hi, I'm Bob Stockdale, Senior Vice President Investments with the ClearPath Wealth Management Group at Stifel and host of On the Money Saturday mornings at 9 on NewstalkSTL 1019. Annuities can be a useful tool for some retirement investors, but not all annuities are created equal. Every week, we meet clients who own complex annuities that don't suit their needs and, in some cases, actively undermine their retirement plan. Before you purchase an annuity, get a second opinion from the ClearPath Wealth Management Group at Stifel. Requesting a consultation is free of charge. To request a free consultation, contact us at clearpathinvesting.com. That's clearpathinvesting.com, or call us at 636-695-2650. That's clearpathinvesting.com or 636-695-2650. Stiefel Nicholas and Company Incorporated, member NYSE and SIPC.
Connor Roofing. You can count on Connor. Connor Roofing is now a 2-time winner of the National Best of the Best Award for customer satisfaction for roofing, storm damage restoration, siding, gutters, both residential and commercial. Please visit ConnorRoofing.com for an estimate. And remember, you can count on Connor.
The Department of Veterans Affairs is so innovative, it not only improves the lives of veterans, it transforms the lives of healthcare professionals who serve them with access to the latest technologies and remarkable benefits. Transform your future at vacareers.va.gov.
Hey, it's First Alert Chief Meteorologist Steve Templeton from Channel 4, and we are proud to be the official weather source for NewstalkSTL. Just like you've grown to expect from us at Channel 4, you can expect the same accurate, detailed, and timely weather coverage from NewstalkSTL. The First Alert weather team will keep you ahead of the big weather changes. And the one thing you can count on in St. Louis, the weather is constantly changing. So Channel 4 and NewstalkSTL are committed to keeping you up to date and safe.
News, analysis, opinion. News Talk STL.
Choose between something high quality or something that saves you money. But if you could get both, why not? Especially when it comes to healthcare, and that is MediShare. You get both. Many families save $500 a month with MediShare, and that's huge. But it's also true that people wind up way more satisfied too. The member satisfaction rate for MediShare is double that of the typical health insurance plan. Double. That's because MediShare works. It has for more than 30 years. It's a community of Christians who have shared more than $5 billion of each other's bills. People love having telehealth. They love the huge PPO network. So yeah, really, you can save a ton and like it better. Imagine being happy with how you're taking care of your health care. So if you're self-employed or part of the gig economy, or you just want a plan you're happy with, you can call right now and get a price in 2 minutes. Here's the number. Just call 855-51-BIBLE. That's 855-51-BIBLE, 855-51-BIBLE.
You can handle the truth. The Dan Bongino Show.
Dear GOP swamp rats, losers, dipwads, people using unnecessary amounts of lubricants in your basement all day with nothing else to do. I have warned, I can't help you anymore. If you're not going to listen and you're going to be little stooges for the deep state and the blob, then just understand I'm going to dedicate the rest of my life, however long that is, to exposing you to many more people than you talk to on your account, because we have the biggest audience and it's asymmetric ideological warfare you can't possibly win. To the Justin Harts of the world and GOP swampies parroting the deep state narrative, Russia is trying to help Trump again. I want you to understand this with no uncertain terms in here. You were the target of this. Merrick Garland and Biden wanted to launch that case yesterday that, Russia is trying to influence conservative people on Twitter, and because they wanted you to then go after MAGA supporters and Trump supporters on Twitter, X, and Facebook and accuse them all of being Russian. You accusing them all of being Russian. And unbelievably, these absolute morons fell right in the trap. I'm not kidding. Go look at Jonah Goldberg's account, anyone at the Bulwark, the Dispatch, uncritically, for the 10th time parroting another Russian narrative without thinking through, wait, was I the target of this? Many Americans are tired and frustrated by a stalling economy, inflation, endless wars, and the relentless assault on our values. Thankfully, there's companies like Patriot Mobile that still believe in America and our rights. I'm proud to partner with Patriot Mobile. They've been on the front lines fighting for our rights, the sanctity of life, our military, and first responder heroes. Take a stand for conservative causes and put America first by switching to Patriot Mobile today. You'll get the same nationwide coverage as the big providers because Patriot Mobile operates across all 3 major networks. Plus, they back their service with a coverage guarantee. Their 100% U.S.-based customer service team will find the best plan for your needs. Keep your number, keep your phone, or upgrade. Go to patriotmobile.com/Dan or call 972-PATRIOT. Right now, and you'll get a free month when you sign up if you use the offer code Dan. Don't get fooled by other providers pretending to share your values or have the same coverage. They don't and they can't. Join me. Switch to America's only Christian conservative mobile provider, Patriot Mobile. Go to patriotmobile.com/Dan or call 972-PATRIOT for your free month of service today.
Dan Bongino.
This is
with SRN News. I'm John Scott. Hiring in America picked up in August from July's tepid pace, and the unemployment rate dipped for the first time since March, and a sign that the job market may be cooling but remains sturdy. Employers added a modest 142,000 jobs. That's up from the scant 89,000 in July. The unemployment rate ticked down to 4.2 from 4.3% in July, which had been the highest level in nearly 3 years. Israeli forces appear to have withdrawn from 3 refugee camps in the occupied West Bank after a more than week-long military operation. Overnight, Israeli armored personnel carriers were seen leaving the Jenin refugee camp after already leaving the other 2. The Dow dropping 440 points, the NASDAQ off 437. This is SRN News.
Folks, Donald Trump Jr. here. Let me ask you this. Does inflation feel worse than we're being told in the news? That's because the official inflation rate doesn't tell the whole story. Since January of 2021, the cost of living has increased by 17.9%. You can't get that money back. But what you can do is stop your losses today. How? By diversifying your savings into a gold IRA from my friends at the Birch Gold Group. When you're done, your money will be parked in a tangible asset with proven history. To see how it works, get your free info kit on gold IRAs by texting the word prepare to 989898. Birch Gold is the only gold company I trust. They provide an easy process to roll over your 401k or IRA into gold without losing your tax advantage status. So text prepare to 989898. That's prepare to the number 989898 to get your free info kit on gold IRAs from Birch Gold.
Subscribe and watch your favorite News Talk STL shows. Mike Ferguson in the Morning, The Vic Porcelli Show, Columbo and Company, Jones and Arps. Webcam streaming on Facebook, Twitter, Rumble. Subscribe and watch News Talk STL.
Hey, Tony Colombo here for Capriotti's, St. Louis's newest and best sandwich shop. Capriotti's menu doesn't stop. You won't have one favorite, you'll have many. For me, the lineup includes the hand-pulled homemade turkey, the Italian, the chicken parmesan, and the list goes on. Even the fries at Capriotti's are next level. Check them out and let me know how your list of favorites is shaping up. Capriotti's Sandwich Shop is open from 9 to 9, 7 days a week at the corner of Manchester and McKnight in Rock Hill. Get more details, including how to impress at your next event with their great catering at capriottis.com.
Getting new flooring can be exciting, or it can be a hassle. To make sure you have a great experience, use Michael's Flooring, like I did. Hi, it's Susie Moore, and Michael's Flooring has become my go-to for quality, variety, and an all-around great experience. They've been locally owned and operated for more than 30 years. Carpet, hardwood, laminate, ceramic tile, natural stone, luxury vinyl, it doesn't matter. Michael's Flooring is ready to help. 3 locations to pick from: St. Peter's, Darting Prairie, and Creve Coeur, or online at igotfloor.com. That's